welcome to Diabolical Souls Presents. Animation is what we do here. So before we get started, I just want to quickly say if you guys could hit that like button, hit that notification, leave a comment, and subscribe not just to me, but everybody here. It'd be greatly appreciated. And tonight, X-Men 97, Episode 5, and this one's a doozy. I'm looking forward to reviewing this one because there's a lot to talk about with this one. But before we do, let's introduce the panel here. We got my brother, Mr. Joe M. Sontag. How you doing, brother?
What is going on? Let me get my camera on here. Ah, there we go. My beautiful face. I'm here. I'm here. What's going on, everybody? I'm excited for, well, whatever you're going to talk about, Jay, obviously, but also this is one of my favorite episodes of the entire season, so I'm ready to jump into it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Vaughn, what the hell are you doing here? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was invited, Joe. I'm a core member of the team. Wouldn't be the same without me. Kind of like how Cyclops is a core member.
Where's your costume?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Where's your costume?
I got you. I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Yeah. I can't be the only one that keeps getting the memo. I don't understand it.
Oh, damn, he's back. Mr. Cyclops, Angry Badger, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I thought I'd switch it up a little bit. Funny, I'm blind if I look at it any other way unless I turn a little bit. That's why my head. If you see me this, I'm not doing a Ray Charles. I just can't see any other way.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder. No, shout out for a second. Hi. Yeah. Welcome. Thank you for having me back. Glad everyone is joining us. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
I got it. I fucking got it. Now I'm ready to go.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh my God.
All right. Zack's got it. Sammy, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. You know, I've been ready to talk about this one forever.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we were saying before the show, if anyone asks, hey, you know, is X-Men 97 worth watching? I'd be like, just watch episode 5. You know, and then you can come to me afterwards. But I'm ready to go. This is my bread and butter here.
And as always, my little bro here, the artist himself, Zack. We just had an auction on Saturday. Did really well, and he draws all these characters and then we reveal it at the end of the episode, and he's just crushing it with all these pictures that he's doing. So, Zack, how are you doing, boy?
I was a little irritated earlier, man. I mean, you know, because I was fighting this position, trying to figure out what's a great pose for this episode to use. And I mean, I erased it like so many times. So I finally just got exactly what I wanted. So I'm ready to just like hammer into that. For everybody who has, who was there on the auction day, I have shipped out all the packages. So you guys, every single person should be getting their drawing within the next week. And I mean, outside of that, man, I'm ready. This was a damn good episode. I really hope that we get somebody from the show to pop in. Yeah, I just really want to pick at their brains because, you know, this one just is a tearjerker.
Yeah. I had basically this spoiled for me. I kept seeing stuff online, but it still didn't matter because I was excited to see how it was going to all play out. And man, although there was some stuff that I'm like, did I see that correctly? Because it was.
Don't say anything. Don't say that.
Come on, dude.
I'm not saying anything. He's false. You're assuming the worst of me, and I'm the best. And it's
well, you got your X-Men pajamas on, and you're excited. So
this is my.
How dare you?
You told me to wear this.
These are team uniforms.
No.
It's a little cold there, Vaughn.
Guessed and you caved.
Well, before we get started, before I bring up the article that I want to discuss before we get into the episode, I want to quickly say hello, everyone in the chat. And there was
accidentally shot everyone. Sorry about that. He saluted.
Alan Sagan. I had him on yesterday and had a phenomenal conversation. One of the greatest guys you can meet. Just a great animator. Like he's put out some great little animated shorts. That Conan the Cimmerian's phenomenal, and that Batman one's great too.
Yeah,
really, really cool. And he's going to be on the 17th for Fire and Ice with him and his girlfriend, girlfriend.
Oh, nice.
And they're going to join us, and she's an animator as well, and I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get him on a lot of episodes, actually. And thank you so much for being a member there, Alan. I greatly appreciate that, brother. And thank you a lot. It was a great conversation. Great guy. So if you go follow him on YouTube, Alan Sagan, and he has a book out, 52 Tips to Animation. 52 Tips to Animation. So it's
Not
a great
just
book.
the tip.
So,
52 tips.
Oh no, yeah, the whole thing. Of course, we got Daxner in the house. The X makes it sound cool. Absolutely, brother. Thanks for joining us, Dax. Mama Badger's in the house. What's up, Mama Badger? Thanks for joining us.
Who said being a big kid wouldn't pay off? Look at this, Cyclops.
The way I know that you can't see yourself wave at the screen, but I can see you, and you look like you flew in on the small Black Hawk to work.
Hey. Laser you.
Damn.
Rick Costa, thanks for joining us. You had some messages early, but when I came back into the stream, they were gone. But I appreciate you, being a part of the show. I'm stoked for this one. My favorite episode. Yeah, this is a lot of people's favorite episodes. This is going to be a really big episode to do. The OGs, Eraserhead is here. Thanks for coming on. Cannoli is here. Hey, Cannoli, thanks for coming on. Jamma, another OG. Yes. No, we don't do that here. But thanks, Jamma, for joining us. If I'm going to quickly keep scrolling down, see if I've missed you. Matty Barr, what's going on, brother? Gooch, Team Joe for the cockfight.
That's right. That's right. We'll see.
What's going on? Zaxx is here. What's up, Zaxx? We miss you, brother. Hope to see you soon. I know you're coming back from your vacation. Looking forward to having you back on the panel. And keep scrolling down, see if anyone missed anyone else. We got 44 people watching right now. So Vex is in the chat. What's up, Vex? Thanks for joining us. Actually, when Vex joins the chat, I always have to put on her little video. So where is it? Did I lose it?
It's not Rogue, man.
I mean, she made that.
Can you write him?
Yeah, I can write him.
Did anybody else just get horny, or was that just me?
No,
I think it's everybody.
That's my secret, Joe. I'm always horny.
Valiant Goats in the house. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always horny. That was immature. I'm sorry.
No, it was great.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Dexter. Thank you, buddy. Just keeps Vex loves her, Henry Cavill. And so watch episode 5. Matt. Yeah, man, you're gonna want to watch this one. This is like probably one of the best written epides.
Oh God, so good.
Start watching it now, because by the time we get through it, you will have watched it, and then you can jump back in.
Honestly, I really want to talk about this one for a while, because this is really good.
Not too long. I gotta work in the morning, man. Come on.
Yeah, not too long.
It's almost past Joe's bedtime.
So we talked about season 2, and we talked about season 3 and Disney, what they plan on doing. And here's the news that we're getting now. This is just put out there. Yeah, Disney's revising season 2.
That's it. I'm out.
Bo DeMayo's work. Bo DeMayo's work on season 2 has been complete and revised. And
damn it.
Yes.
So meaning it's gonna fucking suck. What the hell, Disney?
We'll always have season 1, guys.
Enjoy it.
Dude, come on, bro.
Nah, man, that's disappointing.
It's the same reason why heartbreaking. It's hard for me to get into a lot of shows these days, is because it's like,
the What If series sucks.
Oh, I never watched it.
Yeah, not only does it suck in writing, but the fucking art is terrible. What is that animation? And
I am making an angry
art, but the writing
right now.
Yeah, I'm sending a strongly worded tweet here in a second. No, this is not. I'm not. That's that.
Bring back.
Not going to kill my buzz for this episode, because I'm really excited about this, but that is disappointing news. That is very disappointing.
Matthew Chauncey, who wrote What If, which was is now the lead writer for X-Men 97 season 3.
Oh my god!
And it says here the work has been revised and completed for season 2.
So what it means is they took out all the good stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And now they're going to add all the shit that we didn't want. In the
critically acclaimed What If has been.
Yep.
That's up.
So everything
can you tell me how it's a What If show, but yeah, Captain Carter's like in it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they put Captain Carter in it. Can't get enough of her.
What's up, Grey Wolf? Thanks for joining us.
And listen, sorry.
No, yeah, Zach. Yeah, that's.
I mean, we can hold out hope. Can't judge it till we see it. Just like with season 1, the same thing. Like I judged it, and then going into it, I was completely changed. But that's really disappointing because season 1 was written by a dude that was a huge fan, and it came out that way, and it showed in the work. So.
I'm just gonna say this right here for the writer who wrote What If. Like, if you're gonna be the one writing the show, I'm not throwing any shade towards you. It's just the fact that like Bo DeMaio, really fucking good, as we all can attest to that. And the fact that it's getting revised when it really shouldn't be, that may add a lot of pressure to you. But I truly think that it's a project that I don't know. It shouldn't even be rewritten when it was already good in itself.
Hopefully,
but then he'd get credit, so they have to change it so he doesn't get credit for anything.
Yeah. So, Spider Sensei, is this real or just rage bait for views and clicks? With discussing films is pretty legit.
The source says deadline.
I don't know. They're getting an angry tweet regardless. I'm almost done. Should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, I've kept it simple. But make sure you bring in hashtag bring back Bo DeMaio in that.
No, yeah, I'm already.
We want the Mayo cut.
And when the next Eraserhead, when the next seasons are bad, they'll blame us for being haters, not blame themselves. For letting Bo go. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Nobody on this panel is huge into simping for Disney or what Disney has done to a lot of stuff that we love. The reason why we like the X-Men is because Bo DeMaio actually put some heart as a big fan into the series and won us over. I dogged the show when it was coming out, when people were talking about some of the premises, some of the art. I was like, this is gonna be trash, it's not gonna be good. I was won over because it was that damn good. And so that's the only reason why I'm excited to sit here and talk about the season. Season 1 was great, nothing can take that away, but this is disappointing news, and you will see how it plays out. But this is disappointing news.
Well, hearing that, and we'll probably hear more in the next month or two, maybe even sooner. I'm assuming about this, but and hopefully Bo will come on. And I know Bo said he would come back on, so he'll be back on. And we, I don't know what he can and cannot say. I don't want to,
He might be on lockdown right now.
For what? He doesn't work with them. He doesn't work with them anymore, though.
Well,
he could still be under an NDA.
Reputation thing.
Yeah,
it's a reputation thing with it. It's a long story.
And the thing with this is what really hurts me. And I don't know what it feels like to be in his shoes in this position, but imagine him being a diehard fan of this stuff, and then they completely take all the stuff that you have worked so hard to make it so good, and then the company's just like, yeah, we're gonna scrap all this shit for you. Imagine being in his shoes and just hearing that shit, dealing with it. That's fucking heartbreaking. Dude.
I hope Shrek 5 destroys Toy Story 5.
Yes.
Real? It was a big accomplishment that they made us care about Morph.
5 specifically. And 4.
Stop.
Especially with Cyclops.
No, because Cyclops is easy to care about if you have a big brain.
No,
I'm a boring character, and you made me care about myself.
Yes.
All right. I got a glow up. All right. I thought I was going to be a cuck, and I got a glow up.
Are we ignoring Blob Herman?
I have to talk about myself in the second. The second season, they're going to screw me. They're definitely going to ruin my character in the second one. I'll tell you that much.
Dude,
you're gonna have him and Cable kiss.
That would just be like that'd be
father and son.
Yep, it's the Targaryen special.
Well, over.
What's up, Les? Thanks for joining us, brother.
Cable does have silver hair, just like a Targaryen.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it. They're gonna do dumb shit like they're gonna do dumb shit where they're gonna bring fucking Gambit.
You should have kept that for the end of the show, Jay.
I need to do in
it just came out. It's breaking news, so I know. But
hey guys,
you know what? We have this season 1, and so far, like everything that we've discussed in season 1 has been really, really, really good, and it's been awesome. The action scenes, this episode that we're going to get into right now is like it gets top tier. Like there's episode 5 of Blue Eye Samurai, which is incredible writing there, and then you got Arcane, you got some like episode 2 and 3, and then what is it? 8 and Arcane. They're just bangers. They're really, really good. So I mean, there's some really, really well written animation out there, and I'm just curious, like what's going to happen with Batman: The Caped Crusader, what we're going to see with that new Lord of the Rings movie. I thought it was a series at first. Last night I found out it was a movie.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about that because I don't know how to feel about anything anymore.
There's setting. I'm not really interested in the setting. I thought it was going to be like post Lord of the Rings, like during the Fourth Age, focusing on Éowyn. Apparently, it's not that anymore, or at least it wasn't to begin with, which kind of sours my interest because I think her character post everything that happened is really interesting.
Someone get Vex
but I'll probably
straw.
still watch it.
Yeah,
I think the animation looks great. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm excited about and looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm excited about X-Men. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, this is these episodes.
Listen, we have episode 5. We'll just cope with these, and then I will.
We'll always have Genosha
season 2 ablaze.
No, we won't. That's the. You definitely will not.
We have it right now. Right now, we do. In a couple hours, we're not going to, but right now.
True. I like how you're glob.
Crazy. I'm really
dude. It's Glob Herman. I love this guy. I just found out about this guy like yesterday. I love this.
I'm just really looking forward to fucking seeing the continuation of Bastion. Never mind. I'm gonna stop right there.
Yeah. All right, let's just focus.
Don't worry, Zach. I already sent out my angry tweet.
They'll turn around.
So let's spin this around. It was a conversation piece. So we're gonna get into episode 5. General thoughts on this episode. Like we won't give anything away, but like when you saw, like, 'cause I've watched it 3 times today, and I legit had to hold back the tears. So like this is a powerful episode. Like I was just like, holy crap, this one really hits you in the feels. And I messaged Joe, I think was it Friday or on the weekend. I was just like,
it was over the weekend sometime.
Yeah. I was like, damn, this episode is really hits you emotionally. Like it's really well done. And there's a lot of other things that are done in this episode, which I'm going to bring up, but this is top tier writing right here. And so I don't know how you guys feel about it. I know we're all kind of like pumping up episode 5. We all love it. But Joe, what are your thoughts on this episode just generally?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. Like I said, it's my favorite episode of the season. And that's saying a lot because there was a lot of great episodes in this season. This deals with one of my favorite characters. I'm a huge Gambit fan. So seeing the Gambit get his due, and we'll get into it as we talk about the actual episode. I mean, there were some really awesome scenes where they showcased his ability, and to a point, and I've said this before on this panel, that you hadn't seen before in any iteration of Gambit to this point. Like, it was like, that's the cool version of Gambit. Like, that's the badass, version of that character. And obviously the emotional ending that it was. And, I had mixed feelings with the way that it ended. I loved it because it was fantastic, like emotional, dramatic, just brilliant. But then I was also, saddened because it was my favorite character. But yeah, when you said we were going to be doing this, I was like, I can't wait to get to this episode. So I've been waiting this entire time to get to this specific episode to talk about it, because it was that cool. I watched the ending of the episode probably about 50 times. I didn't watch it again to get prepared for this show because I'd watched it so many times after it aired, just rewatch the ending over and over again because it was that awesome.
Yeah. Badger, your general thoughts on tonight's episode, like just before we get started.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then my thoughts changed as it went on, and I realized what I thought they were doing to set up for other seasons, which now I have no idea if they're still going to do that.
Right now.
Yeah.
In the air now.
But go with, I didn't like it at first because I thought, God, anyway, we'll get into it. But then upon reflection, I do. It's a good episode. I just, that ending is depending on where they go, could be good or bad.
Yes.
Right.
Sammy.
I like I said, I was blown away start to finish. The highs are like peak highs and the lows are peak lows. I mean, it's just an emotional roller coaster. And yeah, I got pretty close to squirting some tears myself. Like, they are, but even though it is an emotional roller coaster, the thing that I've loved about this, hold on, bastard. There's been a fly down here.
You're like an old man swatting flies.
I am.
Hey, you bastard!
I got the script for Amadeus swatting flies. But the thing that I was getting at before I was so rudely interrupted by the fly there is even though there are those big highs, it never stops being fun. And there's an Ace of Base cameo. So
yeah, there is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Andrew, your general thoughts on tonight's episode.
It had Glob Herman, so 10 out of
10. How did I know?
Dude, I just found out about this guy. This guy's my favorite X-Men ever. I love this guy. He's just got
who created that character?
Is it who?
Mr. EVS himself. Yeah.
And Grant Morrison, I think. Yeah.
I actually forgot about that.
I'm sorry, I'm bringing bad news all night.
Damn, you ruined this character. No, I'm kidding. But no, great episode. It the music is the big thing for me in this episode. Just great score throughout, remix of the X-Men theme, and just sounding like imminent dread and death is going to happen. The complete destruction of no, Glob is not dead. I do not believe this. Anyway,
he's alive in our hearts.
He is. The complete destruction of Genosha. Yeah, it's just a great. It's a great episode. Everything with Gambit's great. Magneto's great. It does great stuff with everyone's character. Yeah, I have barely any complaints about it.
Well, we have to get to Vaughn because he can't sit still. He wants to talk about it. So go ahead.
Red underwear. Just
it's not red underwear, actually. Fake news.
It's a stash.
We don't want to see.
Yeah, I'll do it again. No. So here's the thing. I thought it was first of all the dialogue, because I remember I was talking to Phil Diaz. He was like, episode 5 is heavy dialogue, and then suddenly just explodes in the action. And oh my god, is that true? But the dialogue was great. I love the character dynamics. How it's Madeline's figuring herself out. First of all, I gotta say, I think this is an upgrade to comics Madeline, and honestly, despite how it goes, a much happier ending for Madeline here. I actually really liked it. Madeline finding her purpose in life. I liked the whole argument between Cyclops and Jean. Although I did think that one Cyclops outburst, maybe I need to rewatch it, but I thought that was a lot. I was like, whoa. That was,
but that's Cyclops. That's what I tell you guys.
No, it's
not. Baby back. No.
That's not true.
No.
Yes, it is.
Slander. No, it's not.
It does have his moment.
All right. What about what about the time? What about when he sees when he thinks Jean died and he shuts down his emotions? That's the opposite of his character.
No, but Cyclops does have his outburst moments like that.
Oh, when he's written by a bad writer, I guess.
But all right,
I'm kidding. Bo is a great writer.
I thought it was perfectly. Whoa. It made sense.
Yeah,
it made sense.
I didn't think it was totally out. I was surprised at first, but like I said, I want to rewatch it because everything else felt in character. So I thought that was a little much, but I understand. I almost expected that to be a dream sequence, though. But Trish Tilby, it was nice seeing her. There were so many characters. I'm like, hey, it was nice. Seeing them. You could see. I mean, they pulled from a lot of stuff, and this episode, it's just nuts, and it's crazy. What's crazy to me is that this show has been able to introduce, sum up, and move on from such huge storylines in such a quick span, but they still have tons of room for character and dialogue. I don't know how you could tell that there was a lot put into the writing. I think their action was fantastic. One thing I will say is so far 5 episodes in, with the exception of honestly episode 4, which I think we all agreed was the weakest, I feel like the show's kind of lacking in villains in the sense that like I don't know. I feel like Sentinels are an existential threat, but I'm really looking forward to seeing a villain. You know what I mean? But every one of these smaller ones has worked in the context of the episode.
I mean,
well, we'll get into it right away, but I just want to hear Zaxx, just your general thoughts before we get right into it. Zaxx,
this I did tear up. I remember when I was texting the group chat, I was like, "Oh my god, they're doing this! Holy fuck, they're doing this!
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, this happened!" Like and then I actually teared up. I really did. I do. It's sometimes it's very rare in comic books when I'm reading it is when those moments happen. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, and I got to sit down and think about my life choices basically. And like, I watched this episode and holy shit, dude, I was blown away. I was surprised that he took the extreme measures that he did to write out how this episode plays out. And I give him a lot of respect because some fans are going to go ahead and agree with it and some fans are not. But when you find the middle ground, which is what this episode is, some of the fans that are not going to like it are actually going to be okay with the decisions that were made. And I just, man, it's one of the best episodes in the show.
Man, yeah, I think it was great. There were some questions I have that I'm hoping I'm wrong about later episodes in terms of certain characters, but we'll get to that later.
I also don't think Glob Herman is dead.
True. We didn't see the body, boys. We didn't see the body.
There were bigger fish to fry than Mr. Herman.
He's also very durable. So
I think that might have been Batman. I think that might have been either Scooby or Alan. I'm not even sure. Alan, if you bought some memberships or not, that was all before the stream, so I'm not even exactly sure.
I just like the idea of Scooby-Doo gifting Batman a
multiverse.
Thank you, Scooby.
So let's get into this. We're getting a pretty good crowd so far. We got 96 people watching so far, and we'll probably get a flood of people coming in right away. So shout out to everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 5, X-Men 97. This one starts off. We see a news update or an interview, really, by Trish Tilby, and she goes on about how was it created by an atomic testing, or is it nature itself deciding the time has come to change the human race? So she's talking about the mutants, and she starts the interview the Beast here, and they kind of flirt with each other a little bit here. It's nice to meet a journalist as esteemed as yourself here, and then she gives it right back, a renowned scientist such as yourself, Dr. McCoy, and he's like, blue blushes as well, and so
Riz.
like they're
a big item in the comics too, in the X Factor. And
oh, are they?
Really? Yeah. Trish Tilby and Beast, they start a relationship because she's the only reporter that's like, I actually like mutants, and it's basically just like that. Yeah. Beast got the Riz.
A beast everywhere.
Yeah.
If you catch my grave.
I don't know.
I can see. I assure you, the carpet does match the drapes.
Oh my god!
Oh wow!
Oh my god!
Not what I was asking.
So then, we get to Jubilee, and she starts talking about how she learns like battling vampire dinosaurs and stuff like that, and she's just kind of stunned by what she's learning.
Vampire dinosaurs.
And I laugh at the scene right here, like Wolverine's like what, 5'6"?
Yeah.
So he's smaller than that. It's like 5'3".
Well, technically he's supposed to be 5'3", but nobody ever draws him as 5'3".
Oh,
cowards!
Nobody.
All right, I'm getting a stigmatism. Jesus.
Badger with the Cyclops strip is going to send me over the edge.
Oh my god! See, I take it off for a second, then someone compliments it. That's the dedication.
Yeah. Blue blushes too, my dear. Yes, thank you, Rick. And then as we continue here, we get to this part.
Sammy and I are looking at each other. Hi, Sammy.
Hi.
And then there's the announcement: the UN formally
flies.
admits the mutant nation of Genosha, and then we see the Blackbird, or the X-bird, or X plane, or whatever you want to call it, and Gambit, Rogue, and Magneto are heading to Genosha for a gala, and the Gambit and Magneto go back and forth, and then Gambit kind of just says, if there's a malfunction with the Blackbird, unfortunately, gravity will take over, and meaning that they will live and he will die. And then Rogue says, "Can it, you roosters?" And then we get to Genosha here. It's a good setup to this episode. Everything's like great. Everything's happy. We see them in the streets. We see the Morlocks in the street. We see your favorite here, Glob Herman. We see Pixie.
Ice Cream Man is my favorite.
Who is Ice Cream? Is that just his name?
I just he's an ice cream guy. So
yeah, because he just puts his hand over something and he just makes an ice cream. And I was wondering who is this character?
Probably a modern
I agree,
character,
Rick.
honestly.
The music here was fantastic.
Oh God, yeah. There's that one part where in transitions, you guys know what I'm talking about.
And this kept a great cameo. I mean, this is like all the cameos in this scene were fantastic.
Yeah, and then some more come in.
Agenda.
Yeah, and then like Pixie basically knocks herself out.
Magneto would look better with a perm.
Oh, man, come on.
Come on. Oh no, we need those locks flowing.
Yeah. Flowing locks, exactly.
Those dinner gloves just really put it over the edge.
Yeah, and so the Blackbird lands, and we see, or it's flying into Genosha here. We see everyone, raving about the X-Men are here. And then we see Rogue fly down to Madeline Pryor and saying, "Look at you, girl. She's part of the interim committee that is looking over Genosha right now." And then we see Gambit and Rogue enter. And of course, there's Dr. Cooper, there as well. She's part of the committee as well. And Magneto says, I'm surprised at the invite, and Gala bearing the UN's bearing the UN seal and everything. And he's just kind of acting all surprised, and he kind of cautious of what's actually happening here. And then we get Valerie saying that the council would like to speak to you right now, if it's possible. And so Rogue or Magneto leaves to go to the council. We see Rogue and Gambit be introduced to Nightcrawler, who we haven't seen in the first 4 episodes. He's taking Gambit and Rogue on a tour and throughout the Genosha, and how it's developed into this city and everything that's happening. It's a beautiful time to be a mutant. Everyone's happy. They're being recognized for being mutants, and Nightcrawler's part of the council as well because of his religion, and brings the religious aspects to the council.
Loved his depiction.
He's shorter than I thought he was, and I didn't think he was that short. Right?
I like him being smaller and more jumping around
I don't know if he's small. I know he's thin.
No, he's a small guy. Actually,
he looks pretty short.
One of the perfect representations to see how he is is the video game Ultimate Alliance cutscene where he's escaping Doom Castle and he gets captured. That's one of the coolest representations of showing how tall he is, how thin he is. And this show captures it exactly too. I think I used that word right. Remember, I'm multitasking, so apologize.
Nadia has a question saying, "So is Wolverine really gay?" No, he's not.
No,
it's just
only
a rumor.
For Deadpool.
Only for
I mean, at least in this series, he's not. And even Bo said that was just morphs thing. That it's not reciprocated. Obviously, Wolverine loves Jean or wants,
I think another.
It's pretty apparent in the series.
Yeah,
they seem to be pulling from Krakoa stuff too, which I'm normally not a fan of, but the council scene did work. Like they have a lot of the same. So Nightcrawler is part of the council on that, and we'll get to some of the other ones. But Nightcrawler being there works. But yeah, it's interesting seeing Nightcrawler as a Catholic, and that makes sense for why he would have this role here.
Well, we got Leech, Pixie. Who is this girl here with the parrot? I don't know who this girl is.
Parrot Head. I don't know.
I have no idea who this character is.
Same with the other kid. Who's the other kid?
I have no idea.
They're going deep within the
#1
X lore, so some of the characters I had no idea, unless they just made random characters for the scene. That could be as well.
Yeah,
because there's so many different mutants in Genosha.
So this part right here, where Rogue says it's just like he said it'd be, foreshadowing, obviously.
Yeah,
and she's like, amazed at everything that Magneto has talked about. And how Charles has talked about is actually come to fruition, and she's just gushing over seeing everyone happy and dancing in the streets and buying things, and Gambit's kind of like, "What's that?" And she's just like, "Never mind. It was just a thought." This is where the flat ass is, by the way, for Rogue.
this was kind of flat. Yep, kind of flat.
I don't like that they de-thicked Rogue still. I'm not crazy about it.
Only in some scenes.
Yeah, yeah, because I'll say
one scene is
this
too
episode of like
Yeah.
there's like 5-year-old Sammy who fell in love with Rogue all over again.
Yeah, they made up for it a little bit later on.
Oh, they sure did.
Like, oh, okay,
they made her hair thicker.
Lord Toxic.
At.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. For $5, thanks there, Wes. Comic Gambit had powers of persuasion when saving Storm from Shadow King. What happened to those abilities? Hot take: this series is superior to TOG, the original.
The OG.
Yeah, the OG. Yeah. I agree. This is better than the original. Way better than the original.
I agree,
100%.
The powers of persuasion.
Someone's gonna shoot all of you.
I reserve the right not to comment on that. Yeah, you might all be lined up somewhere for that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
well, I mean, if this iteration doesn't have them, then he just doesn't have them.
Yeah. So I know what you're talking about, because he is a suave guy in the comics, very suave, and he kind of talks about it a little bit throughout the series, and we don't really see him until this episode, to be honest. Like don't like, we see him in little small spurts, but this is the most we've seen Gambit throughout the series.
I wish he had gotten more before this episode, but I understand it's a tricky balance of so many characters.
I think that's what it is. Just such a giant roster.
Yeah,
of characters.
He's not the only way I feel that about. I feel like other things too, but yeah.
But this episode was a good showcase. I mean, they sent him off in a good way,
See, this is how much that the fans appreciate you there, Sammy. Are you asleep? No, he's awake.
I'm trying to kill this fly down here, and it's
where are these? You can go to sleep, and people just be like.
So yeah, we see this little altercation. Well, not even call it a little moment with a Rogue reflecting and everything, and Gambit kind of just like not knowing. And then you see like the apples you have to pay $10 for an apple.
Inflation is a bitch on a mutant island like that.
Yeah.
And cost of shipping alone.
Hey, it's biting the economy. Just...
And even like Nightcrawler says, birthing a nation overnight is not without its share of stumbles. So yeah, and then like Gambit
we
makes
fucked
a
our
comment.
economy.
Yeah,
like right off the bat, like oh shit.
And
we also don't know the value of their currency.
I said, what do you mean we can't just keep printing money?
Hey, yeah, what if it's like 10? That's a good point. What did they say? Dollars?
It's $10.
USD?
Like,
I don't think so.
Can't they just have a mutant like with transmutation powers make any amount of gold that they want and just
that's a good
continue to ruin the banking economy?
You would think so, yeah.
That's what I would do, but I'm corrupt. Sorry.
And then no, it's all good. And then like
Magneto literally raise his hand and get any precious metal he wants.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
the one thing about this point in this episode that I really, really love that you don't see in the other ones is that this is actually the first time that the X-Men are relaxing. They don't know how to relax, and because they're still in fucking disbelief that
what do they call that? Slice of life.
Yeah,
a little bit of relaxing and team. Yeah.
Yeah, what they see.
Yeah,
what's
but
in
not
front of
even
them,
at the
they can't
mansion.
believe it.
They're playing basketball and shit. And it was like they're truly happy here.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
They can be their true, authentic selves.
Yes.
No, it's a mutant paradise. That's what Rogue said. It's just like he said it would be. Like this is the dream. Like they're seeing the dream for a second. Before.
Yes.
Before.
Even Magneto, dude. You could in the dialogue that he's saying, he's just like, I can't. He's just like, I can't believe I did. And in a sense of him, he's feeling like proud because he accomplished what Xavier could never do.
Yeah.
And he's super happy about that. But he's still on the fence because he's expecting the worst to come.
That's what's so dirty is you see them all for a moment allowed themselves to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple man.
That's why it was such a powerful
that's
show or episode.
See, we let
the lead up, right?
Multiple man, and who is the other guy?
This is Exodus. Multiple man.
Multiple man, I know. And then who's?
And these are villains. Like multiple man is a villain, and he's not.
He's
sitting
not a
there
villain.
being an asshole. Yes, he is.
Sometimes you see him as a villain.
He's been a villain, yeah.
Because in most of what I've read, he's been good. Dazzler, in the original series, Dazzler was a
every
redhead
X-Men
too.
comic, Vaughn.
Oh, I thought she was blonde.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the comic, she's blonde, but in the original series, she's a redhead, which confused me. And I guess she's still a redhead here, but for
that's
no
what
reason.
I was going to ask because, like, definitely they showed like her sound manipulation power, and
soulless, and she's a mutant. That's a double negative.
Ooh.
Wow. Well, you see.
She's a redhead. They don't have soul. It's proven. Shout out.
You see Daz. Wow, this I don't know what the star is. This is Dazzler, and then there was Cypher in there as well.
Yeah.
No, wait. I missed Cypher. Cypher was not here. Where?
Yes, she was. She was coming out before Dazzler.
Cypher is a man. I'm dressed as Cypher.
Multiple Man was in X3, huh?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
that's the last time I've seen him was in fucking X3.
Yeah,
a lot of people were wasted in X3.
Cypher is a female.
He just looked like a Goomba in X3.
He just had a leather jacket or something.
Yeah,
didn't do anything.
It's like, I can turn into a bunch of people.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, Multiple Man in the beginning when he was a villain, he was doing some pretty good damage. Like he was somebody not to be trifled with.
I've read because he's already reformed, I guess, earlier on in by the time we hit Claremont's run. But there we go. We can see Boom Boom, my girl Boom Boom, in her original classic outfit.
Yeah, Boom Boom's there.
Cypher is not there.
Cypher is there, dude. I'm telling you,
Cypher is a man.
Why do we have to have an argument every time that we
but
see
he is.
Why you
every time, Vaughn? Every time.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Rome's got a pretty good backside there. The butt cheeks really are taken away, but it's got a nice curve.
No, wait. There's another Cypher with one different letter. Are you kidding?
Yes.
Somebody gonna read all the X-Men.
Somebody kick Vaughn. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Fake fan. Confirmed.
All right.
There we go. Here's a good scene.
So here's a good scene. So Nightcrawler sees the traction between Gambit and Rogue. He's basically, teasing Gambit about it, telling her, "Why don't you just marry her?" And like Rogue is just like, "What are you talking about?" And then when it's all said and done, Gambit is just like, I'm not built for picket fences, white picket fences. I'm too much of a sinner."
Yeah, right.
And so, he mentioned something about her touch as well in the scene.
Yeah.
And so,
because doesn't Gambit sort of know that like exactly what's going on? That if he were to ask, he would get denied because of what ends up exactly happening. There's a significant barrier between the two of them.
Yeah,
probably, yeah. That's probably why they haven't been together beforehand.
Yeah.
Batman says there were like multiple men can rob 20 banks at the same time as the way to introduce him in the X-Men 3. X-Men, a multiple man in X Factor and comic Cypher was a dude in New Mutants. Yes, Cypher is spelt with an I.
Yeah, I realized that because I looked up Cypher and it's like, did you mean? And I'm like, why would they have two characters named Cypher that it's just one letter difference?
Well, let's just keep the temper tantrums to a minimum. There.
What's a temper tantrum? I thought I was being gaslit.
Every single episode.
I thought I was being
gotta be
gaslit.
something.
Ooh, you got scolded by Dad.
I thought I was being gaslit, man. I thought you were messing with
You'll
me.
turn this damn stream
You're in
around.
trouble.
Because I was stressed that Cypher being told that I don't exist, and I was like, "This is
Cypher's the guy from the Matrix. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I need to get those glasses now, the red quartz ones. Like $1,500.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
Oakley makes
speaking
a
of
pair.
red
Yeah.
quartz,
Yeah.
what a perfect transition.
Oh, I do. Well, giggity. What are you transitioning to red quartz for? Those glasses?
You didn't know that? Oh no, the ruby
Yeah.
quartz.
Yeah. Ruby,
Ruby
whatever it is
My
to,
bad,
to
my bad.
refract back.
Yeah.
Just
Holy
one guy
God.
yourself.
Okay. So yeah, Trish is interviewing Scott Summers here. And yeah, they mentioned about the glare from the glasses. And he's like, "Can you take them off?" And he's like, "I can't, sorry." And it's like you get a humorous comment, and then you see them in the library or foyer. I have no idea where they are now. And she's like, "Let's talk about Marvel Girl and talk about the relationship you guys have. When did you know she was the one?" And they start having a conversation about his relationship with Jean. And next thing you know, we see Jean Grey. She's like at the bottom of a lake here. You trying to recapture her
As one
memories
does.
and her powers. And Logan walks up and he says, "Oh, you're skipping questions too." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to, bring back my powers and my memories because Scott has distanced himself from me, and he's still grieving his son and avoiding me." And as they're having this conversation, she starts talking about the Phoenix, and then and how it all happened in Nevada. And like Logan's like, "Yeah, man, I was there too." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you were there." That was an awkward moment. I'm not gonna lie. Like she's like, "Oh right, you were there."
Yeah.
And Daxnar said it. This
remembering
directly made me think of the end of X2, where obviously that's how Jean gets covered in the lake there at Alkali Lake or whatever. But like, yeah, she'd just be able to stop it the way she does right here.
Right.
Oh, Kayla's in the house. Yeah, Kayla's here. So
they're actually showing what a powerhouse Jean Grey is.
Yeah, I like that.
I think in the original series, like there was a cartoon that I saw one time, and it was just like a little web comic where she's like getting milk out of the fridge, and she's like, "Scott, I can't hold it any longer."
Yeah. Yeah, this series did a great job of showcasing how powerful a character she is.
Yes.
Way cooler in this series than the original. And we could see that in episodes going forward too.
Sorry, that was my that was what Jean sounds every 3 seconds. She's Scott.
Yeah, I know she is. And it ends up with Cyclops going, "Jesus Christ, Jean."
So yeah, we have this because we're going to get into a heavy conversation right away about a lot happening.
Yeah.
And we're seeing there's a lot of foreshadowing, which I like about this episode, for not only for this episode but further into the series. But it flips back and forth as they're talking about their relationship and what they've gone through with each other, and it gets to the point where I think it's the first part is when she starts talking to Logan, and then she doesn't even know if Scott loves her or if it's Madeline that he loves, and then she just kisses Logan out of nowhere.
Yeah, she embraces her slut side.
Yeah,
I've said it forever. She's a slut.
Yeah,
and she should embrace it. Yeah,
Wolverine's always been there, man. This is a chance, but he doesn't want to win it like this.
No. And
she approves of cheating. So
and she also like
21st century.
Oh, what episode was it? She like looked into his head, and she's like, like how long? Like always, like So she, I think she's finally aware how much like he really does care about her.
How did I know we're gonna get this? Leave Jean Grey alone.
Hey, she did it to herself.
Yeah.
She.
Every time I see her in the lake, I think of X-Men 3, where she murders Cyclops. I'm like,
every
time I see X-Men at a lake.
We now return to the slut shaming of Jean Grey.
That was my first exposure to X-Men, was that movie. And I just go, oh, Cyclops must not be an important character because they just kill him off screen in the first like 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's just because the guy had the scheduling, I think, issues and couldn't do the movie. So they're like, oh, we'll just
give
kill you.
him money. They were like, we'd like you to come back and be Scott again, and then she just died.
Yeah, and then she Logan says, "You're Jean Grey, he's Scott Summers. Those are the rules. You just forgot him for a sec." And then he kind of just walks away, knowing that she's always gonna go back to Scott. Like he knows what's up. Like Logan's cool as hell.
What they don't show is he has a massive erection.
I was just gonna say, besides the massive, definitely,
I'll just
definitely
have
massive.
turn into you later.
But it shows the kind of character that Logan is.
No, I like that a lot.
And I did like that. I appreciate that Jean had this slip, going through all this stuff, whatever excuses you want to give her for being a slut. But then Logan comes out and he's just like, I'm straight up, bro code and everything, and it's all good.
He did
walk away.
It's not just that he didn't want to win it in a cheap way. He also was like, I think he does like Scott.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and that's another thing that I said. It was like they show so much better, and they don't really show it in the movies. They don't show it in the OG cartoon. He has a bunch of respect for Scott Summers. They don't always agree, but like at the end of the day, he trusts him enough to lead the team and everything. Because think about it, it was like the guy is like 120 years old. Like if anybody has been around the block enough, it's Logan.
But
so
he lets
like
this sort of like, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, if
he's already lost Mariko, is another love of his life,
and Silver Fox, and
I was just gonna say, if he got with Jean, I mean, Sabretooth would just come along and kill her anyway at some point.
Happy birthday.
A Marvel editor would come in and be like, "This isn't allowed. Your character's gonna be happy."
No, they're not big on that.
This is where Scott kind of gets upset because she starts asking him about his son, and he's just like, I don't have any kids.
What an excellent moment.
Yeah, and then she's like, well, there's hospital records, and she starts talking about the nurses and the doctor and all the, proof that she has that they had a son, and then he starts to lose it, and he snaps at her, and he says like, she like asks the question like, why lie? And he's just like, because you're normal. And then he just starts to snap and just says, you guys, you normal human beings think you're know everything, and you're intimidated by us, and you want to wipe us out. Like, not verbatim, but like basically in a nutshell, he's just like getting pissed off for being a mutant and being ostracized from the world. And he just snaps and leaves the room. And not a good look.
It's a really not cool moment. It really isn't. Not for Cyclops, because that actually is real, dude. Like, he just lost his son. I don't know the time frame between
absolutely
that
that's what
point
I'm
to
say.
that. It's such a huge sore subject. Like Bo said, earlier, that he's also an orphan, so he challenges. He has that problem, so he had to find a way to implement that into the writing, so you can get that emotional aspect that Cyclops is really torn between that, and he's not over it. And that moment where he does snap at him, like, I felt that.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
I'm gonna rescind my
liked
original take. I think it was a lot.
I thought it was great because it did, like what Zack said. Like the entire first 5 episodes now of the series, Scott's been through a lot. Like he lost his son. He found out that the woman he thought was his wife is a clone. Now there's this whole weirdness between him and the love of his life, Jean. And in a moment when you're trying to keep a happy face and a happy spin, he just lost it. And I thought that was incredibly like real for the character. And I like the fact that you saw the pressure of keeping the team together too. Xavier's gone. He's trying to be the new leader. Magneto came in, took over, put him in the second place, or whatever you want to say. It's like all the shit going on in his life, and he had this one moment where he lost it for a second. I liked it. I was like, that should be, that's good for him. Let that out,
There's stuff like further on in the episode where Jean gets mad at him, and you're like, what do you want this guy to do?
I thought the same thing.
He's like, I had a kid with her.
You're looking pretty bad in this episode. I'm sorry.
Also, while I got the floor, I love that they still made Sebastian Shaw like this aristocratic looking weirdo.
I love,
like,
dude. They
yeah.
just took
I
his
love
original
it.
design.
No,
Yeah,
so
it's
do I.
the Hellfire. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
no,
that
but
I
I
was
really,
so weirded
I
out by
just
that.
really dug it though, because there's everybody in a modern setting, and
Yo!
then you're just like walking around. Like,
What's up, student OG? Thanks for
What's
joining
up?
us, bro.
See, that's what I was a little bothered. I was kind of curious because it's like, all right, so you have your villains where you got Magneto, right? And Magneto really does fight
Facts.
for mutants, but then you have this guy, Sebastian Shaw, who really is a pure ass villain, does not give a single fuck, and he's one of the council members.
Right.
He got money.
I was like, what is this? Acts of vengeance? Like, come on.
Zack, he has money. Case closed.
Well,
Yeah,
not only
yeah.
that, but he's a blue blood, right? Like he knows the politics. He knows how to, you know, rub elbows with the upper class and get things done.
Yeah.
No, still because like
he's got a couple zinger lines in this episode too,
No,
where
'cause,
you kind of let him know like he's got his shit together. He's a smart dude. Like it works. It all works.
Well, I'm just gonna simply say
I like that
saw
Banshee was
him-
there too.
When
Yeah,
I
I
saw
love
him on
Banshee.
the council, I
Love
was
him.
like, nope, something's gonna go wrong. Like this is just off. Just on him on the council. I was like, nope.
Well, this was pulled from again House and Powers of X because they had Sebastian Shaw was a controversial decision for about 5 seconds until they bring in Mr. Sinister, and then everyone forgets about Sebastian Shaw. But like, you know, like Sebastian Shaw, they had a similar rationale where it's like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Him and Emma. Also, it's weird because Emma, I don't think was originally British until later on. So I guess they've had her. She doesn't have a British accent in the show. I guess she didn't in the original either, right?
Is Emma British in this? I don't remember.
No, I don't. In this show, I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. But like in
she's
some
not. No.
interpretations,
Yeah,
I think it was a retcon that she became British later.
So yeah, we're being introduced to the council. So we saw Sebastian Shaw, we see Banshee, we see one of the Morlocks there. I forget this one's name
Which is
again.
Callisto.
Callisto. Yeah.
Callisto.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I remember that
Moira.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
why is
Moira.
Banshee there?
Well, she and Moira are like we're like a couple for like forever, really, right?
I
don't know.
It's hard to remember.
Very long
that
time.
the-
They
I
were
thought
like
she had the
the
hots
couple.
for Xavier.
I was saying,
Yeah.
is that
Well,
the Moira
she did
Target from
left
the
Yeah, that's what I thought.
whatever Taggart. The
Well,
the
so what
movies.
happened
Yeah.
was
They were
Moira
really good
came back.
friends.
Moira came back
Mm.
as his ex, and there was something going, and then Banshee opened the door for her, and then she wanted Professor X, and then he fell in love with an alien. She's like, oh, all right. And
Emma
then
Frost
would-
would have been fine though.
oh yeah,
Yes.
Would.
Absolutely would. What's her name? The actress
She's
that played
Meredith?
her in
January Jones.
Yeah.
January
my
Jones.
What a woman.
Johnny on the spot with that name, weren't you?
Oh, I know. Listen, I know my girls.
No, she's good. Well, she could turn to diamonds, and then she's got mind powers.
Yeah.
I didn't like
I
I liked how they had it in First Class. I didn't like how they had it in Wolverine Origins, where she was like it looked like she was bedazzled. They were all like glued onto her. It was like, no, give me the solid
She's in the
form.
movie for like 2 seconds.
First Class was good.
Wait, and wasn't her sister like a completely different ethnicity from her too in X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Yeah, I think so too.
That happens.
This is my sister. I'm like, what?
So
Okay.
basically, what happens here is like they ask Magneto to be the head of the council, and what it comes down to is like Moira throws at Magneto is if Charles trusts you with the X-Men, he would trust you with this. And then like Magneto starts to reflect here, and he says, we were in a bar in Germany when he first mentioned his dream. I laughed at him. Was he sentimental or suicidal?
Actually, I think they were in a bar in Israel.
In the comics, I think so
Yeah.
too. Yeah, in the comics, they were in Israel. That's where
Two
they met.
mutants walk into a bar. And this is a different type of joke now.
I was waiting to hear someone say that.
Mutants walk into a bar and they have a serious conversation.
But this is kind of foreshadowing again, because this will come back. We'll see this moment come back later on.
Yep.
Which is great. And then he says he would do it on one condition, and then the next scene we get to is
Oh my god!
It's funny. He's like, I'll do it on one condition: if I can smash Rogue.
Yeah.
Like,
basically when it comes to basically, yeah.
When you put it that way, it was like, oh, do you want to run this whole country?
And...
Well, if you're going to twist my arm about being king, I'm going to have to bang Rogue too.
I need queen.
I really do. Talk about having your cake and eating it too.
Rogue, please.
Yep.
He has just like a list of demands. Like, I gotta bang Rogue. I want rose petals whenever I walk.
I just want to get to the chat here quickly because I know people have been mentioning comments here.
I'll take that deal 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Like, hey, sign me up.
That deal? I'll take that deal. January.
Yeah, Rogue's like, I get to be a queen? Like, fuck.
Big sister.
Gambit can't provide that for me. So,
Or, you know, the other huge part of like actually touching her.
Yep.
I love the sound effect every time they touch.
Oh yeah.
Every time we touch.
So then we get to this moment right here where Scott is upset himself for letting his feelings come out in the interview, and then Jean starts talking about like Nathan because he's like, what does he look like? And he starts describing like he sees him everywhere, excuse me, and and as he's describing Nathan, they're going in for a kiss, and he's letting himself go. And then we see this moment right here.
And Jean has to come in and ruin it.
Yeah, Jean comes in and she gets upset with her psychic communication that she has between
it's emotional
her and
cheating.
Scott. Yeah, it's a psychic rapport that they have, and then she gets upset, and as she's getting upset, we see this part where Madeline, she kind of snaps out of it. Yes, which I'm really curious what your thoughts on this, because she snaps out of it. And Sebastian Shaw, are you okay there, Miss Pryor? And then Emma Frost, she goes, "Oh yeah, I was just having a thought." And Emma Frost is like, "Oh yeah, hell you were." Like she was
like spying or like paying attention, like
because she has those abilities too, right?
Yeah.
So
I thought that was pretty funny.
Like, so I'm wondering if this, damn it, we don't know with season 2 now because
right through.
Because like I was wondering if this is going to come around, we're going to see the Emma Frost Scott situation.
That would be cool. That would be
cool.
Because
and the guy deserves a little bit more play. He's having a rough time.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I think that what we were going to more was, and I know it's not popular here, was kind of like Cyclops' like button heads with Xavier. It was like not necessarily like his villain arc, but it was like there becomes a very distinct difference in thought between those two characters, where for a long time he always backed Xavier's vision, and now not so much. He's kind of got his own opinions. He's grown into his own character, so I was like, they could literally take him anywhere, and as long as they give him the respect he deserves, I don't care.
Yeah, he's a growing boy.
Can we really take a second and just look at the weird hypocrisy with Jean in this episode?
Yes, that's what I want to do.
Okay, go ahead, Jay. I don't want to take you thunder. Go ahead.
No. I'm glad you brought it up because this is exactly where I wanted to go. Thank you so much. So these two, like, she's like talking about how basically he's cheating on her with the psychic rapport.
Yeah, who would do that?
And she storms out, and she's like, "How long has this been happening?" And they're basically, gaslighting each other right now at this moment.
Yeah.
And it's
and I'm like, bang Wolverine?
What the hell?
Yeah.
No, and he goes, "Jean, it's the mother of my kid, who I thought was you, by the way."
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if he just said "screw you," he would have been a callous asshole that says "screw you" to the mother of his child. Like,
yeah,
so lose.
Really, by the way, why do you smell like Logan, bitch?
I was just 2 seconds ago.
Like,
I was angry.
Cigar,
yes,
cheap whiskey.
Women.
What have you been doing?
He stinks,
bub.
Yeah, I just feel like Jean Grey's just gonna like start singing, "I got your money." Come, like she's just like, like she's just being an outright hoe, and then when she gets caught, she starts to gaslight Scott here, and then Scott tries to gaslight her back, and it's just like,
I'm a Gemini. I can't
the
help
way
it.
the way she describes Madeline Pryor too was like, and someone just cuts a thing out of me. It's like, it's not a tumor, it's a clone of you.
It's not
Everybody thought it was you for months and months and months. And it was like, I'm sorry that I have a rapport with this person who is basically you.
Absolutely.
Scott is much better to Madeline in this version than he is in the comics too, which I really again they improved on so much. In the comics,
he's treated her like shit, dude.
Yeah, he did.
Like in the comics, it's no wonder. Like it's Madeline. Honestly, all things considered, that Madeline situation, she moved on really quickly. So the fact that she's like, well, maybe she didn't.
I don't remember him smoking either, and I don't think they were going to let him.
Because the Joe Quesada.
I mean, it's they took that away from him a long time ago.
But in my head canon, he's smoking.
He does it in the movies. That's about
exactly.
It.
Yes.
Because I'm sitting there thinking, was he smoking a cigar in this? I can't remember.
Because it's the one Marvel versus DC where he fights Lobo, and before the fight or during the fight, he puts his cigar in the ashtray, and then they go behind the bar, and you don't know who wins, and then Wolverine wins, and you just see him take the cigar and start smoking it at the end of the fight. Yeah. So I always associate a cigar or a stogie with Wolverine.
They don't show the fact that he never smokes is just highly. It's
because it's literally for editorial reasons. Is why they.
Because that's the same thing with Thing.
Yeah,
the same thing with Thing. Thing is the smoker.
Yeah,
or Constantine should be always smoking a cigarette.
Can I say this about this scene though? Getting back to the scene where he says, "I love you both." Like that makes extreme sense. Like that makes total sense.
Yes.
You were with Madeline Pryor, thinking it was Jean for this entire time. Had your kid with her.
He's a victim
now
too.
She's gone. And now Jean's back, and he's trying to reconcile that in his brain. Like, of course, he loves both of them. It's the same woman essentially. It's just
he calls her out. He has a legit gripe when she's like flying away from him. He's just like, he was like, maybe you need to make up your mind.
Yep.
And I rescind my comment. I was saying how like I thought it was a bit much at the time, but I get it because you never see Cyclops lose his cool. So it was like at the time I was like, whoa, but it. And I really like that it's like, okay, you could kind of see where both of them are coming from, but it's also like you got to look at it as Cyclops lived through it all,
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Bo was laughing on his drafting?
Do
you think Bo was laughing on his drafting table? He's like, yeah, I think people are gonna laugh, get a kick out of this.
About which part?
Had to have.
About the fact that Jean Grey is like pissed off at this whole situation. I feel like he's like, yeah, he probably got a chuckle.
That's right.
That.
Drinking's also different than the smoking because even the drinking, it's a nondescript glass bottle that we assume is beer, but kids just see a nondescript glass bottle as opposed to the actual smoking.
Yeah. Because they didn't want to give a smoking warning.
Right.
Here's the cool thing about the writing in this show is that it dives so much into the individual characters and how they deal with the situations. Mm-hmm. So we can sit here and laugh a little bit about the hypocrisy and everything, but when you break it all down, it's just like we see what Cyclops is going through, we see what Jean is going through, we see what Madeline Pryor is going through of this situation that affected all three of them and how they're each dealing with it, and maybe they're not dealing with it the best ways in every aspect, and like how that's put in a rift between everybody. Like I think it's just really good writing, and I feel like it reflects if you were really in that situation, how would you react depending on who you are.
Yeah, because it's not like, hey, I got with your twin sister, where she
right, exactly.
It's essentially you, and he didn't know any better. So it was like, well, okay, you did cheat on me, but you cheated on an exact carbon copy of me.
Right.
Like, yeah. Where do you go with that? Just go with Emma.
Boom. There you go. Solve it right there.
You got too much stuff going on, hon.
No,
bring it into the family.
If I have two genes, I'm getting at least one of them.
Yeah. We could do this as a family. The two of us and the kids. Don't worry, honeys.
Exactly. Yeah. That would have taken the opportunity right there.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm she's being so insensitive here. She's like, well, he's in the future now.
No, Scott,
why are you so hung up about your son?
I love you so much. I'll marry 1 billion versions of you.
Dude, no matter how many we talk about, and the fact that Cyclops outrizzed Wolverine with not one gene, but two.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
Wolverine's like, let me get the extra. Come on.
And then he's like, she still wants him, even though he's like, I'm married. Still, Cyclops Riz. I'm telling you,
we don't see on Genosha. You see Wolverine like smoothing up to Madeline Pryor.
Wolverine's like the mature guy.
That's what I said all along. I was like, why didn't Wolverine go to see Madeline Pryor?
It's like the confident mask, but underneath he's crying. That's Wolverine.
So
Do it.
get back to this. They're having their argument, and then Jean just has like a kind of a psychotic episode, like here, like not psychotic, but a psychic episode where
this was such a cool vision.
Yeah, and then we get to Gambit with his white tie. This is a really heavy scene here. Now we're gonna get to this. Rogue shows up, and she goes, "We need to talk." And he's just like, "What's wrong, Cher?" And she gets into her history. She explains everything that happened before she was with the X-Men, and how she had a relationship with. Here she talks about my evil mother was helping me with my powers, which it was Mystique in the comics.
Yeah,
that was teaching her, and she gets introduced to Magneto, and then Magneto starts teaching her about the ways of mutant life and what he sees, what could be happening in the future for mutants and their kind one day, and showing her all the beautiful things in life and living life as just being like an everyday person or a mutant, and she was loving that life. And then she one night realized that she can touch him because he was protected by his electromagnetic powers, and they start to have a relationship. And she tells Gambit this. So like, I can't imagine like, like not only are you already jealous of Magneto, but now she's telling you there's a history between the two of them, and that she was banging him, and it was just like, and it's just like, well, that's basically what she was saying, and and I'm like,
he takes it very well.
And it was good, Cher. I loved it.
Yeah.
He can't control all the blood flow in his body.
Poor Gambit.
Yeah. So then, she tells him about this. And then
I love his reaction, though. Again, very
hard champ.
Very realistic kind of human reaction.
He takes
shows it again. This shows the character of Gambit, just like Logan. You showed a character of how Logan was. Like you could have reacted to this a number of different ways. And he was just, because he cares so much for Rogue, right? He reacts the way he does, and it's basically like, yeah, he's hurt, he's sad, his heart is broken. You can tell that, but at the same point, he doesn't lash out or anything because he cares so much about this woman. He absolutely loves her, so he kind of lets her go, and he lets her know that it's okay. Even if it's not really okay, he tells her what she needs to hear so that she can go do what she needs to do. I thought it was brilliant writing. Like, I really did. Like, I think
absolutely.
I think it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the writing again on this show, because looking back, I mean, this is all literally just relationship stuff, and I'm interested in all of it. Like, it's all so well done. You could understand everyone's point of view, because I remember seeing memes of this episode, like, "Oh, Gambit gets cucked" or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's like,
no,
it's like, man, it's not really like that.
Yeah, and she starts explaining to him like that. That's the whole reason why she wanted to become an X-Men. And then he's just like, this is the moment where she says that all the expectations, every time looking at you, seeing all the things I couldn't do, which hits. And then you see Gambit respond back, like telling Gambit the dang truth. And then she responds back, I can't touch you, Remy. You like up everything you touch, but never me. You light up everything you touch, but never me. Such a heavy line.
It was great.
That's why those memes aren't exactly. There's some truth because he's literally cucked by that reality. That's what's so fucked up about it.
Yeah.
There's no way to cope out the fact that he can't touch her. He's literally cucked by reality, and Magneto's there. He can do everything, and he can fucking touch her. But that's just the reality of the way everything's written. So it's just like, oh, bro, it's an extra painful thing.
But this
totally
wasn't
agree.
a scene.
Totally agree.
This wasn't a scene like Rogue is basically coming to him and being like, "Hey, it was fun. I'm gonna go have fun with this other."
It's not done to humiliate.
He was very emotional about it too, because it's not
Yeah.
something that was easy for her that she wanted.
Yeah, it's not done to
so in the
humiliate
scene,
him or
like
for the reasons.
it's heartbreaking for her as well. You know,
they're also looking at the big picture here, like what Magneto says to her about like being the queen and all this stuff, and it was like, listen, like I need someone with your empathy, so someone to these people can rally behind. And it was like, I think they both understand that too. So it was like, not only are they victims of their own biology, but they're a victim of circumstance. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Andrew, you wanted to say something there.
Song. Just a victim of circumstance.
Yeah. Oh no, it's just good writing. It's like Gambit takes it like a champ. He's just like, yep, it is what it is. Keeps throwing cards in the fire.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell he's going through it, but he's just like, yep, whatever.
What else is he gonna do? Yeah.
Well, not only that, the animation, like she's pleading on her knees, just like like to almost forgive her
or permission.
Like
she's welling up. Like it's very, very well done. I mean, like Oscar worthy in my opinion, as far as emotional scene and building the narrative as you're watching the scene. That's one of the things about this series that's so great, is it really pulls you in with the drama, not just the cool action that we get to see, but there's some very touching, dramatic scenes throughout the entire series, and this is definitely one of them.
Oh yeah, and then we get this line right here, like he kind of just snaps back. Some things be deeper than skin, Cher.
Yep.
And oh boy, like the thing I love about the writing in this, it comes full circle a lot of the time, and it hits hard. It's like,
oh yeah,
powerful. It's you're like, oh my god, like that really came back and hits you right in the face. Right? It's
gut punch.
What's up there, Devil Max? Thanks for joining us. So yeah, and the voice actors, of course. Yeah, the voice acting. Like we had Matthew Watterson on, and he'll come back on. Actually, he said he'd love to come back on. So like he talked about all this, and it's this series is fantastic, and it's a shame that it's going to go in a direction that we don't know. We have no idea where it's going to go, but let's continue with this. So next thing you know, we see them both tear up, and he just says like, until then, we'll just be friends.
He takes it again very well. Very well.
Well, he knows, like that's the thing. Like we saw him in the streets. He knows, like he's not made for living. Like I think he's trying to convince himself, even at that point, like this is never going to happen. Like I'm not built for white picket houses and white houses, or white picket fences and white houses. That's not my life. I'm a sinner, and he wants to just keep living that style because he's protecting himself.
Yes.
Right. So like so when it comes to this scene here, it hurts. It hurts heavy, but he knows like it was coming. But even when she's saying, like talking to him, he says like it's not going to work out between the two of you. And then we see the fireworks here. We see
this was
Squid
a really
Boy.
cool scene too.
Shit.
Yeah,
I don't like what's happening.
This was the Ace of Base scene, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And we see Madeline Pryor. Yeah, and she's kind of flirtatious with.
I was just gonna say,
here.
kind of flirty here. Yeah, at first I was like, oh, maybe they're
right.
gonna go smash,
Let's do it.
Like,
hey, I got screwed over. You got screwed over.
Yeah, finally, I can actually touch a woman.
Right?
Yeah. And then we see,
where's Glob Herman?
Where's Glob Herman?
He's there somewhere.
He's there. Yeah.
He's just got a bow tie on. He's still walking around.
And we see the Magneto meet the council, and then we see Dr. Cooper arrive, and she just snaps like, "Assemble the council. We need to talk."
What a line!
She's kind of a bitch in this.
She is a
bitch.
Like,
Valerie Cooper.
Yeah,
Valerie Cooper. She's kind of like a. She just
I don't know. She has some concerns.
No, like even when they got off the Blackbird, she was like very like, we need to have a conversation. And like
that's true. Like right off the bat, she was
off the bat. She was like a kind of a snarky bitch, to be honest. Like she was not the most pleasant to have a conversation with. And even here, she starts talking to him like, most other nations don't allow a terrorist to be their leader, to Sebastian Shaw.
yeah.
And then the response from Magneto, like,
Oh yeah.
oh, brilliant. Yet so many allow their leaders to be terrorists. So that kind of, threw it right back in her face, and she didn't have a response back there.
I remember seeing that online. I was like, damn.
And the entire time, Emma Frost is just being sexy.
Yeah.
They're just being sexy.
Yeah.
Well, even when Dr. Cooper walks up, Emma's just like, Sebastian made a comment. I forget the comment. But Emma Frost is like, oh, about your dress. So it's like, it's just like, typical kind of like a snarky female, like, thing to say to each other, because that would hit, like, guys, we don't care. Like, but with females, like they go out of their way to get like the nicest dresses to look, nice. So, and then we see Rogue enter, and this is like a grand entrance. This is kind of like, Cinderella, when she's kind of coming in and everyone just turns around like, who's this? This is the kind of same entrance that we're seeing with Rogue here. Everyone just turns and looks and sees Rogue, and then we have this very sensual dance between the two of them, and Gambit's watching all of it, and it's hitting even harder now, seeing them actually start to touch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's a dick move on her part.
Yeah, see, this is where I was on Rogue's, like, sympathetic to Rogue, and now I'm like, you know what, this ain't right.
But here's
this
the
ain't
thing.
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's not right or not. They had the conversation. She needs to do what she needs to do. This is all for show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this isn't some grand "I love you" proclamation to Magneto. This is all for show for what they need to be as the king and queen.
Yep, this is a formal dance.
That's all it is. Yes, and it's that's all it is. And even the kiss that they share is for show, and we see what happens after she does it. She realizes she can't, because she loves Gambit, she loves Remy. So like, I don't even think it was a dick move. It was just the circumstances that we talked about of what they have to be in. Does it suck? Absolutely, it sucks. It sucks for Gambit to see it. It probably sucked for Rogue to do it. But is one of those things that had to be done because they were going to rule this new nation as king and queen going forward, and they had to show that solidarity between each other for the subjects, I guess you could call them, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Just the people that would be looking up to them and following them from now on.
If that's the case, I wasn't looking at it like that. I stand corrected.
That's the way I saw it.
That's how I saw it too. But
banged Madeline instead of watching this performance. And
shit, hell yeah. Oh, dude, the look on his face when
you did that to yourself.
Her hand touch his,
and
then again they had that cool sound effect again that I was like, I really enjoyed that. But it was just like, you look back at him, it's like, yeah, dude, just I agree with Badger. So it's like, take Madeline into the back room and
exactly. Hell yeah. That should have been what happened.
Don't be there for that.
Yeah.
That's self-torture.
Or that. Yeah, just go go drink somewhere,
Fuck you, mon ami.
Heavy drinking.
That is not being able to look away from a car crash. Gambit knew what he was gonna see, and he stayed.
I agree. This is all to put, like, this is face. You're just putting up a face for everyone to see that they're a united front and everything is kosher, right?
Yep.
And then we see
Magneto's into it because he's getting everything he wants.
Magneto is in love with her. I mean, we've kind of seen that throughout the series, and we see it. So I mean, he's absolutely all about it. And she's more or less playing the scene.
Well, and not only that, he mentions when, like, way back when he was talking to her about being the queen, he said, like, him and Gambit have a passion for her. She makes weak men want to be fixed by her because she has this ability to make men weak, like feel confident, I should say. And we see Madeline Pryor. She starts to have some thoughts, and then we go back to Jean Grey. She starts having a nosebleed, and
oh shit, man, this is like gut wrenching here.
Yeah, this is where the shit hits the fan. But the cool thing about this scene is there was so much tension in this scene. You knew that something was coming. Like the way that they were preparing it with the music, even the music, the ace of base, and everything that was going on. But just everything was so tense at this part.
And then she throws the line back at him. Some things are deeper than skin.
Yep.
Oh my god! I
there.
didn't pick up on that. All right, we gotta rewatch it.
Wow. Oh, you didn't pick up on that?
Let me ask you something.
That's why I knew that it was an all act on her part.
It was all face. Yeah.
She realized how much she loved Remy in that moment. She's like, I can't do this. You know, like.
Let me ask you guys something. Is Rogue really all that like physically?
Yes.
You know. I'm just saying because like
at least in the comics,
Storm is an absolute queen, bro.
You don't have to pick.
She's hot too. Yeah.
But, like, Storm.
I thought they were all.
Yeah. But in our collective minds, all three of those at peak performance, I think Rogue would be.
Yeah.
Well, Rogue would always be my first.
She's that forbidden fruit too. Like you can't.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Oh, we can't touch it. That makes me want to. Even
I can take the hit.
Yeah. I don't care.
I would have definitely tried.
I only need to survive
like 2
seconds.
2 seconds. I got just 2 seconds. All I need.
Rogue's got daddy issues. Also.
Well, I shaved 3 seconds off my best time.
I'm practicing with a taser. I'm lasting longer and longer. Yeah, no, she's S tier. Yeah.
We have 100.
Daddy issues.
We have 154 people watching. I appreciate you all. If you want, some of you join us on YouTube. It'd be great. You could hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Not just to me, but everyone here. It'd be awesome. But yeah, yeah, 2 seconds is all we need.
Yeah,
and then
that's it. Let's go.
Then we see, Madeline Pryor. She starts to stumble. She's like feeling lightheaded.
I'll wake up in that hospital bed every single time. Like,
yeah. Then we get
there he is. There's the man.
We get the
finally.
Cable arrives. He's telling turn off the music. You guys get out of here. Shut it down. He's warning everybody, and she sees into his eyes, and she realizes it's Nathan, her son. And,
I love this scene so much because they've seen Cable before. They've been interacting with Cable before. The first time she realizes that this is her son because of everything that transpired in episode 2 when they had to send Nathan away. Mm-hmm. It was an extremely emotional scene. The entire show was, but it just, again, emotional beat after emotional beat. They just hit you over the head again and again with this episode with everything.
Yeah.
What does she say? She's like, you survived.
You survived. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. So wait, I don't really get what the psychic bleeding is about, though. I'm confused on that. Is that revealed?
I think it's because they're both Jean, and this is my thoughts. Jean and Madeline are both linked into Scott, and when they're doing that, and when Nathan comes in, because Nathan is coming into the picture right away after this, it just somehow fractures their psychic mind, their brain, and they don't know what's going to happen because their memories start to separate a bit, and they don't know how to deal with it. That's just my general thoughts.
And Cable's got that psychic ability as well.
Yeah.
Really?
But he's only there for a very short time frame, so he can't really explain anything, right? So he's there and then he's gone, and he gets zapped out right into time warp again.
Does Cable have any psychic abilities as a mutant or not? Is it just
I think he does. That's how he's keeping the techno-organic virus at bay.
Okay. No, I was like, okay, because I don't know 100% that much about Cable.
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
So this is the beautiful thing about this episode, because we started off, with the interviewing, talking about mutants and having the ability to have their own. They're being recognized by the UN. They're in Genosha. They go to Genosha. You see everyone celebrating. You see everything in the streets. Everyone's happy. You're seeing them celebrate. And now you're starting to see everything change. Even the color tones are starting to get darker, even though it's nighttime, but it's starting to get darker. You're seeing these moments with Rogue and Gambit. Now you're seeing with Madeline and Nathan. You're seeing it with Scott and Jean Grey. It's setting the tone for what's happening in the next scenes, which I think is just fantastic writing and animation. This really
hits. One of the best spots of animation in the series was it. Well, we saw others as the series went on, but up to this point, this whole last 10 minutes of the show was just phenomenal animation.
Mm-hmm. And so when Cable shows up, I guess he's only allowed to be there for a limited time.
Yeah, because he's what's the term called? He's jumping. There's a specific term that they use.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember what it is offhand, but he's kind of being pulled. He kind of arrived too late because that was the whole thing. And this goes back to Madeline Pryor's vision in episode 1. I think when she sees the Cable version, but she didn't know it was Cable at the time, just the face that said something like, I'm sorry or something, or it's too late, I'm sorry, is disappearing. And that was her vision of Cable that bounces to this scene. So if you go back and watch episode 2, when she's having that vision of the Master Mold at the time and Sinister and all that kind of stuff, that's what this was. And so now, boom, we're here. And when he disappears, he says the exact same line of something like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry, or something like that as he disappears.
This is a later episode?
No, that was the vision she had in episode 1 or episode 2. I can't remember what it was.
That's episode 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm gonna have to check back on that. Okay.
Yeah, and then we see like everything start to happen.
Body slide.
Yep.
Oh, thank you, Spidey. That's what it is. Body slide.
Thank you. Yes. I just want to quickly put that up. Body slide. Thank you so much, Spidey Sensei. Yeah, he auto body slides and can't stop it.
Okay.
So yeah, now we're in this part right here, which is like a very powerful moment. Just like this explosion, and we get to Rogue, where she's kind of trapped and she doesn't even know what just happened, and she throws off the big boulder that's on top of her and starts looking, and it's just a complete massacre all around them. This is where it starts.
I stood up. I stood the fuck up when that happened. I was like, no,
dude, that was nuts.
How they captured the devastation and just the shock and awe of it all.
Madeline is the first to go, like totally gone.
Yeah. Madeline gets wasted at the very beginning of the scene after Cable disappears and this beam hits, and she's one of the first people to go.
Now there were some that I think crossed the line, but we'll get to that very soon.
Yeah, so they see the wild Sentinel Master Mold here just start destroying everything, and as it's shooting this extreme powerful laser beam onto these mutants and destroying them, and at the same time it's recognizing mutants like Omega threat detected, and announcing and killing them, and a Nightcrawler is doing his best to save everyone, which again I thought was just
was great. Yeah,
unbelievable. Like, he's exhausted to the point where he just kind of collapses to the ground saving people, and he actually saves I think he saves like Magneto and Rogue here, doesn't he? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, he gets him out of the way.
He grabs him and gets him out of the way, and like he's near death. And Gambit says, "Oh, he's still alive." And then Magneto right away becomes the leader of the group and starts telling Remy to get the children and the Morlocks and everyone to a safe space and protect them. And Magneto and Rogue will take on the Sentinels. And this is where it just becomes chaos. Look at it, like behind them, it's all. This is what I love about the color schemes. Like, it's red,
the green and the red. The green
yes,
and the red.
Like it's phenomenal. Like, just indicating death. Like, it's.
Yeah, I would say the heaviness of the scene too, with the bodies. The covered up bodies. You actually see people die. That's what was awesome about this show, is they pushed a little bit more mature, where we could see death and we saw blood. We saw the results of some of these massive things that were happening, and this scene specifically where there is so much death and you see so many characters
that I'm surprised.
Killed.
Yeah, I say there's a couple I'm surprised.
There's a couple there's a couple that I'm not okay with, at least, but we'll get to that. I guess, are we right there? But one of the
sort
things,
of right there, right?
Okay, so we'll talk about that. But one thing I also, I want to point out is I honestly felt like they were pulling from Mutant Massacre a bit, with because if you remember Nightcrawler, he's like one of those. I think if I remember correctly, he was teleporting people away, right? Or am I remembering that wrong?
I'm not sure.
You're talking about issues 214.
It would make sense.
Yeah. But anyway, it's so the way it switches to chaos, and it's so abrupt, but it's supposed to be, and it works.
Yeah.
And the transition and the audio transition, how it goes from the song to and again, that moment with Madeline, beautiful.
Yeah, and right here you see Magneto see like mutants die right before his eyes, and he's seeing he's seeing what he saw in the past, and he gets enraged and tries to take on they call it the Godzilla Sentinel in the series in the
Tri-Sentinel, I think is what it's based on.
Yeah, well, now hold on. Now, since we saw those bodies, even though he didn't have screen brags, I'm sorry, I'm not okay with some of those dying off.
Still I'm all right with, but it's
I didn't.
Sebastian Shaw is like one of the best X-Men villains ever.
Didn't Emma Frost get killed too?
No.
Are you sure?
Sebastian
okay, just
Shaw,
Sebastian.
I
okay.
am not okay with that. Like,
but Sebastian Shaw, he I don't think he can die though.
Well, he absorbs stuff, so I'm hoping that he do. Yeah, I guess I haven't. Seen
I don't think he's dead.
I don't think he's dead. I think he's injured.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well, I mean, they took out Banshee.
Callisto's definitely dead though.
Banshee, I was not okay with.
Yeah,
Banshee,
that shocked me. I was like, oh shit, they killed Banshee.
I think that was. I'm sorry. Look, and I know Bo's definitely a fan, obviously, but that felt disrespectful to the character.
Well, I wasn't disrespected by
Batman
it.
has a good point.
Yeah,
Gooch.
I was just like, it sucked. But again, how many of these characters are actually really bringing into the overall story? Some of them had to be kind of fodder, because they're not going to make the main roster of the show going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so it kind of made sense why you're going to sacrifice them to make it a bigger,
statement.
Make the scene bigger. Yeah, it feels bigger because some of our known X-Men are dying in this scene. Just boom, like that. Boom.
But like,
just
for
right
example, and I'm not saying it had to be the same level as Gambit later on, but like, I don't know. I mean, you got to think about it. He was one of the core members of the team in the early days of Claremont's run of Giant Size, and he just comes back, has like one line, and I feel like if I was a new fan coming in, I wouldn't have cared. I only cared because I knew who Banshee was, and that to me is, I'll be honest, I think that's.
I get you on that,
bro. I didn't even recognize Banshee until just now. This last when we were watching, I was like, "Oh yeah, it is."
That's what I'm saying. Like, it should have been like, "No, man."
Yeah, no.
But
what was cool about it though
Banshee,
is that nobody knew how powerful the beam was until it started wasting. Wasting mutants in a second. And that's when you that's the reason why the deaths were so impactful, because Banshee's just like, usually you get hit by something, you bounce back as your X-Men, right? But it's like, no, dude, damn, he's gone. Like he was gone in a second, and you're like, holy shit! Like there's the stakes. The stakes are now so high; they're turned up to 11.
Dude, I was standing up and I was like pacing back and forth watching this. The first time, it was breaking my heart. Because again, as fans. I like Vaughn says, he's like, oh, it's so super disrespectful, and of course that's I'm not gonna argue that with a little bit, but it's those creative choices that work so well that you're like, did that just fucking happen? And
exactly.
My jaw dropped.
Yeah,
I get it, but I because I did feel that in that scene. But my question is, okay, is that impact worth losing that character for good? Now that Bo DeMayo's gone, go ahead and kill him. I don't care about
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Banshee. He actually dies in the comics, and then they brought him back later.
In the comics.
What's that?
Well, everyone's died in the comics, so you could.
Yeah, that is true.
Well,
Scott never died.
Really?
Nightcrawler's never died.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Nightcrawler has died actually.
No,
I'm pretty sure he has.
I don't remember Nightcrawler dying.
But let's be real here. This is the X-Men. They delve into time
Colossus has never died.
Right, exactly. That's what I thought too in this scene because of Cable.
No, Colossus has died too.
Colossus died from the legacy virus or something.
Yeah.
A lot of people, but like, because I remember Banshee lost his powers for 100 issues. Because I almost felt like if they had done something, I get the instant death, but they had almost done something like a brutal, like hit his throat and he's just out. And it's like, holy crap! I think that still would have had a good impact.
Rick Costa has a good point. He says Rogue's shock seeing Banshee and Marrow get killed. That was what it was, so it wasn't just the fact that they got wasted, but the Rogue witnessed it. She saw it. So again, it's the horror of seeing this, the genocide happening before your friends dying around you.
That's the
I
same
think
thing
that's
as
what,
Leech.
and that's what made the theme so powerful. And I know some of the X-Men were served up on the sacrificial platter for the storyline, but it worked because of that. Because you didn't think you'd be in a situation where you're seeing X-Men die, and here we are. That's why the stakes were up. Like in this scene, you're like, holy shit, like they're going here. Like, what is going to happen? At that point, you didn't know what was going to happen, right? I mean, you were on the edge of your seat, like, damn, who is going to go next?
Yeah.
It did feel like I get. I'm not gonna ever say that it didn't give stakes, but again, my whole point is that if I didn't have that prior attachment outside of it's the same issue I had with them killing Captain Boomerang in The Suicide Squad. The only reason I cared that character died was because I knew who Captain Boomerang was in the comics. So I was like, what the hell, man? But the movies, if I were to have my friend sitting next to me, he'd be like, all right, that guy died.
All right, but if they're not planning on utilizing him in the cartoon, it's no harm, no foul. I mean,
yeah, and that's probably what it was, to be honest with you.
I just want to circle back because I don't remember Colossus or Nightcrawler dying in the Claremont runs at all.
Oh, they didn't die.
No, not in the Claremont runs. I'm just saying in general.
Oh, that's all that matters. Like,
that's right.
Oh, well, Banshee didn't die in Claremont's run unless he dies in the last 10 issues. So I haven't read the last 10 issues.
He doesn't. So the majority of the characters don't die, but Banshee, I know Claremont had Banshee die, and I think he had.
We had Banshee not die, but he had Banshee lose his powers for 100 issues.
Banshee died. Banshee also dies.
Oh, does that happen the next few issues? Because I'm about to get to Extinction Agenda. Is that when it happens?
It might be because I remember Banshee dying.
Spoiler.
All right.
So yeah. So like getting back to this, like the animation for the animation for this episode is phenomenal. Like
top notch.
Like, it's unreal. And we're seeing Gambit and Rogue team up, trying to take out this, they call it Godzilla Sentinel.
I've just been calling it Tri-Sentinel.
The Tri-Sentinel, the Wild Sentinel Master Mold is another name for it. This thing is like impossible to beat.
It's amazing that even Magneto is having a fucking tough time.
Yeah. Magneto's having a hell of a day. You're seeing Rogue taking out Sentinels. You're seeing Gambit taking out Sentinels, and it's awesome. The
Gambit taking out Sentinels was the shit. There's that one scene where he's saving I think it's Leech, right, and some of the other kids or whatever. He comes flying through the wall, right in the Sentinel's head because he had just taken the Sentinel out. Like that was a complete boss move, right?
Yeah,
that's why I said this episode was like straight up, perfect for Gambit fans. Even though how it ends is how it ends, but he did some really awesome stuff in this scene, showcasing his abilities and his powers.
Well,
that was just one of them.
Sorry, I love that. So this thing's kind of like designed like a flea, and it's dropping these Sentinels like eggs. And when they drop, you see Sentinels. Regular Sentinels are massive in their own right, and it just shows how gargantuan this thing is, and it's animated so well. Where when the actual Sentinels land, they're prepared for that. They're some mostly one-shotting them. And it just shows in like for an Omega level threat like Magneto, and I love that they have the Sentinels like identifying the threat level of the mutants now. Like they've started doing that in the thing, and it was like going like Magneto is probably the most emotional that we've seen him in anything, and I was like, he should be able to just considering it's a giant robot. You should feel like this would be no problem from him, and he's even having trouble with it. So it was like, this is a huge, massive threat.
If this thing is made out of metal, why was he having such a hard time with that? Was it just because of the emotional impact that was going through him that he couldn't focus on his ability, or was it made out of different material?
They don't really cover it, but it had to have been made out of different material.
Yeah, it had to be.
It had to be. And like this part where he's getting flung and he actually knocks over the Xavier statue, because he's in that protective magnetic ball, and he lands in the scene. He's seeing more deaths of mutants, and he just becomes enraged and just starts attacking the Tri-Head.
This was such a good scene. I forget. He uses this as a whip. It's so good.
And then you see the Morlocks, like she says, like the X-Men won't save us, basically.
This is it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Leech is like, he promised we'd never be scared again, and he's being optimistic, And then you see the Sentinel arrive and saying mutants located, and then Gambit came in and take this thing out.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was unreal. And he's just casually throws, perfect. Throws a card at the head and just takes it out. I was like, oh,
love it.
His movements with his staff are so fluid in this. It was awesome.
Because one thing when you're training or you're using your shit, and this is to add what you were saying, Sammy, when the X-Men are just kind of facing off against a villain that isn't, that serious or that big of a threat, they're kind of like experimenting on what they're capable of. But then there's moments in their in the episodes and the comics and stuff where it's just second language. When shit hits the fan, it's not about double questioning what you're capable of. It's like, nah, fuck that. I need to go to work.
Yeah.
And then we get to probably one of the heaviest spots of the show where Magneto's down and he's kind of feeling defeated. And then we see Leech kind of run to Magneto and hug him. And Magneto protects himself with a magnetic shield. And Rogue and Gambit are witnessing this as the Tri-Head Sentinel takes his powerful blast, and Magneto's fighting against it, and Rogue is about to jump in and protect him, and Magneto, straps him against a pole, and she yells at him, and like let us free, like she's upset, she wants to help him, and he's got everyone with him under the magnetic shield. And he starts to pull up everything to protect Rogue and Gambit here with the metal. And as he's doing that, he says a comment to Leech here. He says it in German, but he says, "Don't be afraid." And they kind of explode in because he just kind of, I guess, releases some of his power and they sink into the ground and blow up.
I think it finally just broke through. Like he could only hold it for so long, and then he knew it too. It's like, that's when he told Leech that, it was like that emotional part, that dramatic part where Magneto's like, I can't hold this any longer. Like, this is it, don't be afraid. And then boom, that was it. And this was one of the first part, because I didn't know what was going to happen next. That was even more devastating. But I was just like, holy crap.
Was Leech gone?
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah. Holy crap.
This was off camera.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? But granted, this was off camera, so you always got to wonder about that. But in the moment, you're just like, holy shit, did they just kill Magneto? He's done. He's gone.
Yeah.
He says
so well done.
Omega threat
nullified or nullified, whatever it was,
But also, and I think it was when we were talking to Bo, he brought it up, he said that line in German because that's what his parents said to him,
right?
Yeah.
And
that's why it hits.
Also, another too, maybe if I'm trying to fend something off, it's like, hey, Leech, maybe don't grab onto me right now.
I thought he was like a little kid, so I get it.
No, I get it. It's just a joke about his powers.
No, I got you.
Lord makes a good comment here. He says the comic shows that the Sentinel are coated with some kind of material that making them impervious to magnetic powers. Otherwise, it would be too easy for Polaris and Magneto.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, because it had to have been something, because it gave Magneto, being the Omega level that he is, such a fit trying to fight this thing, and obviously eventually took him out.
This is where it gets really really good too. I mean, she loses it, and she starts charging at the Tri-Head Sentinel, and the Sentinel is about to kill other mutants, and it has this radar, and it picks up a mega level threat, and is about to take out Rogue. And Gambit starts running over, grabs a bike, and knocks her. Actually, it's right here. I want to see if I can catch it. Takes her out with the bike and knocks her off course. And he starts running after the Tri-Head Sentinel, because the Sentinel's focusing on other mutants, and it witnesses Gambit. And as Gambit's climbing up, taking out other little Sentinels pieces here and there. He gets stabbed through the abdomen area, and
here we go.
Right here.
Such a powerful scene when he's going up there after he knocks Rogue off, and he's going up there and he's doing the self-sacrifice after all the stuff that's happened in this episode, and he's showing like how much he cares for this woman, and he's doing what he can do.
Rose Tico'd.
He did the
but good version. But a good version.
Well doing,
Yes. Someone tell Ryan this is how you do it. That doesn't ruin it.
He's being all boss Gambit. I was like, the cards are always in my favor, and he gets up there and boom, impaled, and all of a sudden quiet. You get the scene where just they drop the music out, they drop everything out, and you just see the reaction in Gambit for a second, and you hear like a little bit of like the blood drip or whatever, and then you pull back and you see this. Like the filmmaking of the scene was so good, was so perfect, and at this point I'm just on the edge of my seat, and I'm just like, wow, damn, what's gonna happen? Like I didn't know they were gonna go here, and I'm at that point where I'm like, are they gonna do it? No, they're not gonna do it. Are they? They did it. Holy shit,
Yeah, and in the Sentinel even says mutant eliminated, and he kind of just smiles here, and oh god,
Rick points out that's the super fucked up part too for Gambit, is that he won't get to know that she sort of changed her mind there at the end.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a great point.
That's
I love this though. This smile, man.
Yeah.
He knows he's goner. He smiles. He just goes out like the true badass hero that he is, saying his signature lines.
The name's Gambit, mon ami, and
that's all he had left, right?
Yeah.
Go out like a pimp,
and he's like, remember it, and then
remember it.
Yeah. Oh man.
The name's Gambit, mon ami.
Remember. It takes out the Tri-Head Sentinel, and
oh my god,
he goes full kamikaze. It was one of the most powerful animated scenes I think I've seen.
I lost my mind when he did that. When he took out the entire. I mean, when he charged it all up, I lost my mind. I was like, hell yes! Like if you're gonna go out as a hero,
that is how you do it.
That is how you do it, right there,
dude. I gotta rewatch this episode like this because people were telling me, because I'm like, how is this better than the Inferno episode? How is it? And it's, I mean, this is, and the reaction, the reaction's amazing, and we'll get to that. But God, dude, there's just so much. Because I had known that there was the remember it, and then he does something and dies. That I knew had spoiled, but I didn't know the exact thing, and I didn't know the scale that he does it on. So my thing is, I guess he could have done that. Could he have done that anyway? But I guess this is like his last bit of energy. I guess this is something
he did it. He did it for love, and he did it like he sacrificed himself for all the mutants. Like it was just.
Everything about it was so good.
Everything, because in the beginning he's watching everyone dance and everyone being happy, and he's like, again, he's protecting himself, right? Saying I'm a sinner, like I'm not built for white houses and picket fences. Like he's and then he does this, like the ultimate sacrifice, kamikaze style. Like he just it just wraps up this episode so beautifully. And then we get to this part where they're in Logan and everyone in here, and then Scott runs in like, how many, damn it.
It's
like,
so good.
And
it feels very real. And it also, there's that part in Fall of the Mutants too, where he cuts to everyone crying on TV after the X-Men died. It's so powerful. Like when it feels like a real life tragedy where it's like, oh my God, like it's so raw. And that's why I think, like, to your credit, like, even though I could complain about the Banshee stuff, it's effective. And oh my God, it hurts. Like, this is a very
Rob's alive!
I told you.
Oh, come on! Why
Let's go!
The one that died. You know what? I take it back. Have Pixie have Pixie carry Marrow, and then it's like, oh, no, the pink hair girl died.
This scene's got to be here.
Oh man,
I can't feel you, Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar, I can't feel you.
With the tears just dropping on his face.
Yeah,
it goes to black screen.
It goes to the black screen, and then it does the version of the X-Men theme song, all in like beautiful, sad, like
melancholy
orchestra piano. Yeah, and just
and
that's how it ended.
Yeah, even before that, you can hear her crying before he even gets to that. And I'm like, geez, man. Like,
it was so hard hitting. I can't, like, if you guys haven't seen the episode and you're just watching this, hearing us talk about it, go watch it, because the end of the episode was so well done after everything that you just witnessed in a short period of time. And then just the black screen, a little bit of crying with Rogue as she's just, what's going on? Why I say? As she's devastated over the death of everybody, but obviously the love of her life as well. And then it goes into the version of the X-Men theme after that.
He knew.
Perfection. That was all I have to say with this episode. Pure perfection. Shout out to Bo and everybody that put their time and effort into this show. And this episode was just like, oh, damn. I mean, 10 out of 10 for me, man.
Well, yeah, it's the voice acting, it's the writing, it's the animation. Because like even those moments, like that last scene of like Rogue holding Gambit, like the way they animated that was picture perfect. Like each sequence was perfect. Like her pleading with Gambit when she's on the ground on her knees, talking to him about like I can't feel anything. You light everyone else's life up when you touch them. But like you don't touch me. Like everything in this episode was done like perfect, and I mean dead perfect. So like that being said, let's kind of go around the horn and see what everyone thinks. So like let's rate it and give a quick. I'm
gonna go over this real quick and give it a rating, and then I got to bounce because I do have to get up in the morning. I'll catch the rest of the show tomorrow. But this, like I said in the beginning, this was my favorite episode, still is the number one episode to me in this series itself. And there's some really powerful ones coming up too as well. But there was just everything that we just covered here over the last 2 hours or whatever packed into one episode. Going over it and talking about it, I almost forgot like how much, actually breaking it down, how much drama and intrigue, character development, character arcs that you're seeing people go through. Some start right now and continue with the rest of the season. Some ended. The animation was perfect. Again, the score was top notch, as I've been saying all along. The score in the series, it just pulls you in emotionally with the music alone. The script is great, and again, Gambit going out the way he did, my favorite character. Him and Wolverine. But Gambit going out the way he did, hated to see him leave, but man, what an epic way to send out one of the more popular characters in the X-Men, amongst the X-Men fans in this new series, going out the way he did in the most spectacular way, and then just letting us all feel the devastation and emotion at the end with Rogue holding Gambit in her arms, as very reminiscent to like Lois holding Superman after he dies. You know what I'm saying? Very reminiscent of that. And then just the fade to black moment. I mean, 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
By far. I mean, I don't think you could do any better. And in my opinion, like this just hit on all levels that you could put. Fantastic job. Fantastic job.
Before you go, Joe, do you want to quickly just tell everyone where you're going to be and where they can find you? I know you got Reaper Destroyer. You got that. You're repping that up as well. So
you can follow me on Joe M. Sontag 1 on X. I'm on all social medias. Joe M. Sontag. Check it out. Joe M. Sontag on YouTube. We have shows every week where we talk about comics. Usually on Mondays. I didn't do it yesterday because I've been so busy trying to get Reaper Destroyer to print. But usually we do a show on Monday at 9 p.m. called the Spawn Review, and we just kind of go over Spawn. We talk about everything Spawn. We're going to be diving into the animated series here a little bit, as well as the comics. Appreciating Comic Book Art Live is right after that, and we just sit and we look through comics like a bunch of friends, shooting the shit, looking at awesome art. Thursday nights at 10 p.m. we have Art and Stuff with my host Sean Arendt, and we just we have guests on. We just, again, it's a comic book talk channel. If you guys want comic book talk and looking at great art, check it out. Follow the channel. Check out Reaper Destroyer. That's my comic book. We are getting so close to sending this to print. I actually just sent some files today. I'm in the process of sending files. So I sent two major files to the printers right now. So we're going to get that process going. So I'm very, very excited about that. Thank you for everyone that backed that book as well. And I think that's it. I don't think I missed anything, but yeah.
Well,
thank you for having
me. Is it out yet, Joe, or is it still?
Say what?
You haven't closed out yet, right?
No, I'm not going to close it out probably until we start shipping or until people start getting the books in hands, and I'll probably do a closeout at that point.
Because I still want
I want to say like Joe's comic book shows are the best on YouTube. They're awesome. Yeah, Akba and Ott and stuff are the best. So if you love comic books, if you want to talk about art, if you want to learn and listen to interviews from other artists or writers and stuff like that, please go check out Joe M. Sontag's channel. It's awesome stuff. So I love going on there, especially Spawn. I love talking Spawn with these guys.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
Yeah. But you take care, buddy. I'll be talking to you.
All right. Tomorrow. Well, thank you for having me. This was awesome. I've been waiting for this episode for the entire time we started, and it gets better from here. So everybody, if you haven't watched the series yet, go watch it so you can join in on us as we go. So guys, have a great night. Shout out to the chat. You are all awesome. I will talk to you all later. Peace, everybody.
Peace out, bro.
See ya.
Peace out.
How about
Badger, your general thoughts. Your general thoughts this episode.
Well, to what Joe finished off saying of it gets better from here, this ain't a 10 out of 10 to me, and I'm not nearly as in love with it as you guys are. It is good, and I enjoyed it, so it's a solid 9 out of 10 for me, but not my favorite episode. There are other ones I like, and I know why they did what they did on a couple of the deaths for obvious reasons, but now that I know what's going on with the second season, I'm not so hopeful about him maybe coming back as a Horseman of Apocalypse or whatever the hell this was all leading up to.
Yeah, that was my prediction.
If that's not going to happen, then I think they just fucking ruined one of their best characters if they're not going to do that. But we'll see. For what it is, though, that was if you had to say, hey, we got to get rid of Gambit, that was a great way of him going out. Like, no complaints about how that happened.
Yeah.
So, 9 out of 10. Solid 9 out of 10.
Awesome. Andrew.
It had Glob Herman, 10 out of 10. But yeah, just really good at setting up like a setting that like finally let our characters chill and show us what they're working for. I had never seen a Genosha before this, so I didn't know what this country was, and then we see it and it's like, oh, this is what they're fighting for. It's like, okay, and everyone's like, it's a utopia. Everyone's just happy. No, the economy is a little fucked, but you give and you take. But and then like you get this time of rest, and then it all just comes crashing down. And it just did that so well. And yeah, I think I'd give this a 9.5. I think. One of the issues I have with it is I just don't think it capitalized on the idea of mutant art. What was it? Rogue was talking about her relationship with Magneto, and she brought up like how he introduced her to like the arts specifically in terms of mutants. One of the things I would have liked them to do is like make their own song for the dance sequence, and it's like in universe that's made by a mutant. That would have been nice, but it's not a huge gripe. But yeah, overall perfect episode with Gambit's death. And it's just good episode. Nice. Thumbs up. No notes.
Sammy.
Just like my girl Rogue, 10 out of 10. Especially that whole thing where the dynamic between Magneto and Gambit and Rogue, and then they have that wonderful conversation where he says touches and everything, and then she kisses Magneto and says it again, and then to have that taken away where she says, I can't feel you. I just thought that was so powerful, and it's heartbreaking. And I'm right with Badger. I think I even asked Bo about it. About the apocalypse because that's definitely where I thought that this was going immediately, because I was like, they can't kill him. They can't, but even if they do, I was like, now that I know that he doesn't got his hands on it, like I maybe it's for the best. But
right,
so many powerful things here. The scene with Magneto and Leech, I thought that was wonderful. I don't see how you could have done this episode better. I mean, it's just every reason that I love comics and that I love animation, it was like all there. There's things that like if this would look like a sloppy CGI mess if they ever tried to do it live action.
Oh yeah.
You know, like this there's just beauty that you just can't convey in live action, and this is why I'm an animation fan.
Yeah.
Vaughn, do you want to chime in?
I mean, oh my God, yeah, I thought for it was. I mean, but I'll keep it brief. It was fantastic, you know, and I felt everything. Oh my God, what they did not do that, like those feelings, you know. Like I could say what I want about Bench, but at the end of the day, it's like that. It hit, and it made me go, man. I do wish superhero stories were more ballsy. Because this is a ballsy episode, and even breaking it down, I appreciated it even more, man. They improved on things in the comics. The stakes felt real in a superhero story. I don't even know why the villain showed up, but it didn't matter. I mean, this was brilliant from start to finish. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I just, yeah, I want to watch it again. And it's one of those things where I feel inspired to write. To get to, I want to write something of this caliber. It's one of those things that just really is inspiring, you know? Yeah.
And I'm just curious because like when Bo comes back on, you know, there's a lot more questions we can ask him, especially with the news. You know, hopefully we can dabble into that, but who knows? Zach, I know you're still kind of touching up on the picture that you got for tonight. Okay, but let's hear your insight into tonight's episode.
This first time seeing this, I actually teared up. I was crying a little bit because the you know, again, you know, it all stems from for me, you know, reading this stuff, falling in love with it, being at such a young age. And you know, as you get older, you grow with the characters because of the continuity and how much material that the companies keep putting out. So when you see something like this and it's done so well, and you know that the people that were working on it truly care about the stuff as much as you do, it hits even harder. And man, dude, I was standing up for the end. I wasn't sitting down. So, yeah, this piece right here, this was a different take to how I envisioned Rogue charging, you know, getting hit by the bike and whatnot. I saw it very differently, if it was in a comic or whatever. But I I'd imagine if you know, Gambit was trying to take her down. He'd probably take his deck of cards and he was trying to like hit her in the sky. And you know, I just let me zoom in on that for a second. I try to use some energy, a lot of energy more than background.
Well, you can feel it. You can feel it in that picture, dude.
And I was
very
trying
good
to
booba.
Yeah, I was trying to capture the rage, the emotions all in her. Maybe I should have added some tears or something, but I don't know. I think in her, she would have felt more rage right then and there, so the tears would have come later.
I agree.
But here, yeah, the deck of cards with the energy coming right at her. There you go, guys. Yeah.
C'est magnifique.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah, for me, I think with this episode, they laid out a lot of groundwork, not just for this episode, but for future episodes. And I really appreciate everything that Bo did for this series, like and especially like the relationship between Magneto and Rogue. We get a bit of a history with Rogue. We get a history of, you know, a lot of characters kind of thrown in there a little bit. The relationships, everything just hits hard. For me, it's a 10 out of 10. The animations, I think, incredible in this episode. Like I mentioned twice already, but like with the emotional states that these characters get into, and you can feel it just by the animation alone. Without, if you didn't even have dialogue, you would see the emotion from them. So for me, incredible artwork there. The ending, like I almost had a tear. Like I was just like, whoa, this hits you right in the feels. I've seen this episode I think 4 times in the last 4 days. So every time I'm hit harder and harder every time, because you get invested into this episode like big time. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. And it only gets better for the next 5 episodes. So it's amazing.
They somehow top Trial of Magneto, Inferno, and they keep going, man. And I'm down for the whole ride. I'm down.
Yeah, I'm just curious what's going to happen in season 2 now, because that's a big concern for me. Because like when you see brilliant writing and you see the animation and the writing and everything meshed together, and you put out a top-notch product, and now you're gonna like revise it.
Yeah, I'm
Give
not
it to the guy who did what if.
I'm gonna say it. If they don't, we don't know why Bo was let go. Correct?
No.
They first of all, I think we're owed an explanation. Second of all, I think I'm gonna boycott it if they don't bring Bo back. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to give them.
Well, if it's going to be revised and a corrupted,
exactly
story, because at least with the second season, we thought it was going to be what Bo did, and then the third season was going to be the one that they were winging it. But if they're now going to retroactively change what he did,
I'm not interested.
Yeah,
I care about writers. I care about creators. This is good because Bo made this show good. I'm out
because it's animation. I'm going to watch it. The first 2 or 3 episodes and see what happens with it.
Yeah.
If it's Disneyfied, I'm not gonna.
What they'll do is muddy the waters, so the good shit you won't be able to tell who did what. So then,
that's what I
steal
think.
credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a lot like changing just enough on a movie script, so you don't have to credit the original person, even though like most of the bare bones good shit was that original person.
That's just dirty. To me,
it's very
dirty. It's very Disney.
It's very
yes.
It
is like what they're doing in Star Wars. There was like, oh well, the extended universe is gone, but we'll just cherry pick that stuff out of there so we don't have to give credit to the
exactly.
This is what we've all been saying. Like, bring the man back. Like, cry out loud. Like, I don't know what he did. Like, Jesus, but let's wrap this up. So, Badger, what you got going on this week, there, brother?
The hell do I have going on? What's tomorrow? Badgercast. Where we'll all be talking about the Acolyte and Virgences, and that'll be fun. And then Thursday, Friday on Nerd Wars. Be good. And then basically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm streaming on my channel, and the rest of the time on Nerd Wars. Monday, Film Threat Versus.
And isn't there a birthday coming up soon?
The 21st. Badger's turning 39, so I'll be grifting that. Normally we'd be on Nerd Wars channel, but we'll do some stream on my channel on that day.
Nice. And everyone go please check out his channel. Great stuff, great content, a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Man knows his shit. Andrew, what do you got going on? I know you've been working on some stuff. What do you got going on there, brother?
I got an Acolyte video I'm still working on. It's going to be part 1. That's going to be covering episodes 1 through 4, and then part 2 is going to be 5 through 8. That'll probably be out by hopefully when the show ends, I'll be able to finally get part 1 out. And then part 2 will come in like hopefully 2 weeks after that. And then other than that, possible streams, I got Jedi Fallen Order and I want to play that again. So I might just stream myself playing that. So yeah.
Nice. I like that better than Jedi Survivor.
It's a Fallen Order is a really good. It's a surprisingly good story, for like what they're doing with it. So,
Sammy, you'll be here tomorrow night.
I will.
You'll be here Thursday night.
I will,
and you'll be on Romans talking
the show that must not be named. Yes. and then Nadia's channel for House of the Dragon. I might pop in on Zaxx's channel tomorrow too for What's Good. But
nice.
Who knows? Yeah, other than that, Actually, no, there is no other than that. I'm happy about
it. Vaughn, what do you got going on? You got your book, you got everything.
Yeah, I got. So I can show my screen, but I have my comic book. It's on Fund My Comic, Indiegogo, and Kickstarter. I'm going to show the Indiegogo just because it's the only one, and it's right about to get funded. But if you want to back, look, money's green. If you want to back Fund My Comic, you want to back.
I don't want to show it.
Okay.
Nah.
You know what? I've had enough of this guy. Just before this stream, I got the trade dressing for Rainy's cover. So that is now all the covers are done. Actually today, big day. Not only did I get the trade dressing on Rainy's cover, all of the interior colors are done. We are now close to lettering. The book is close to completion. We get closer every day, and we are less than $1,000 away from our first stretch goal, which no matter where you back, as long as we hit 15K across all the campaigns, which we are close to, everyone will be able to get a free mini print by right here. And if you back it on Fund My Comic, you will get a free mini print from Zack here, some of Zack's art. So let me go ahead and pull that up if that's okay.
Oh, cool. I got more Zack art coming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So if you back it on Fund My Comic, because we're on panel with Zack, how silly of me not to include that. Here we go. This is Rainy's cover. And then Zack, if you back it, you get this for free as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, yeah, definitely check that out.
Yeah.
And on my YouTube channel also, I had 900 subscribers. If we can get to 1,000, just my name, Vaughn Coleman.
Congrats. You're on your way. You're on your way, bud.
Remember when we were neck and neck? It feels like ancient history now.
Yeah. Zack, buddy. You there?
Rest in peace,
No.
Zack.
No, he went Gambit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he went Gambit.
I can't feel you, sugar.
Yeah, he went Gambit.
No, I'm gonna be on Tuesday.
What?
I mean, Wednesday. I'm gonna see it. Wait, what's today? Oh,
he's going into the shadow realm.
Yeah. Like what? What's going on
Did you
there?
fall down the stairs?
Yeah.
He's getting
Rest in
abducted
peace,
on
Zack.
air.
Sorry.
No.
sorry. I'm just gonna mute myself. Sorry, guys.
No,
No, Zack, you're
no,
I'm talking.
Oh, you're up.
Alan Siga, you gotta unsubscribe now. Once you subscribe to Vaughn, you unsubscribe.
Yeah, they tried doing that again. So my 600 subscribers special, just some backstory. I start up my stream excited, and I noticed that I'm below 600 subscribers, and the whole stream, the chat would screw with me. They'd subscribe, and then as soon as I passed 600, they'd unsubscribe again. And it's the whole time. And they tried it again, and they couldn't do it this time. They didn't get enough people participating. So,
oh, awesome. Unsubscribe now. Thank you.
No.
The system works.
Yeah.
I love democracy.
I don't know what's going on with Zack, but for everyone that didn't watch the auction, Zack and I made an announcement. We are going to be doing a book called Diabolical Souls Presents. And it's going to have all of Zack's artwork. It's going to have all the streams that he did the artwork on. It's going to have the panel on there. It's going to have everything, a description, what we were talking about in that episode. That episode. So we're going all the way back to Zack's going to do some Blue Eye Samurai, some Arcane pieces, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. There was X-Men 97, all the movies that we've done, everything. It's going to be over 100 pages for this book. We're going to be putting it together right now. Zack's going to be working on I almost said it. I almost said it. Yes. Thank you. So yeah, we're going to be putting that together. We're going to put that out for the fall where you can buy it, and it'll be up for, I think we're going to put it on Indiegogo. Zack, he's going to be putting up all the original pieces that he did. So if you want one of those pieces that's going to be in the book, that's one of a kind. You're going to have the original copy if you want to buy it. The auction, he sold like 12 or 13 pieces. So those people who bought a piece will have an original piece. That's it. You'll hang on to that, and hopefully our book sells really well, and then you can say you got the original piece from it. As for me, tomorrow night, we're going to be discussing A Bug's Life. the animated movie night. And then Thursday night, we're going to be doing Demon Slayer episodes 6 and 7, which is great episodes. So looking forward to that. And then next week, we will do, again, we'll have X-Men 97, same time, same night. But we have Fire and Ice next Wednesday. And we got quite the panel. Alan Sagan and his girlfriend are going to be with us. We got quite the panel. We got Kayla, we got Adam, we got Jay Goodwin. It's going to be an awesome panel for that one. So look up for that one as well. Everyone, take care. I want to say thanks to everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. Everyone on the panel, you guys are great as always. And for everyone that did a super chat or bought a membership, like Alan Sagan and Lord Toxic, thank you, Lord Wes. Appreciate it. Everyone have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night for A Bug's Life. And everyone take care. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Ciao.
I know.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?